franchise tonight. Raymond James Stadium sold out. Good matchup between the Buccaneers and the Minnesota Vikings. Al Michaels with Boomer Esiason and Leslie Visser. Two hot teams have at it tonight. The Vikings have won 5 straight. It coincides with Jeff George moving into the starting quarterback role. He's thrown 15 touchdown passes in 5 games. Chris Carter is playing the best football of his illustrious career. They're scoring like crazy, but defensively they are dead last in the National Football League. Tampa Bay, in contrast, has the second best defense in the National Football League. They're having trouble scoring. They've lost Trent Dilfer probably for the season with a broken collarbone, and so Sean King, a 22-year-old who grew up across the bay in St. Petersburg, makes his NFL debut in, of all places, Monday Night Football in Tampa. Good matchup. In Tampa, rocking in anticipation of this one. Boomer, it's a classic case of the irresistible force. The Minnesota offense meeting the immovable object, the Tampa Bay defense. Who has the advantage?
Well, you know, I like Tampa Bay's defense tonight, Al, simply because of the noise that they're going to be able to play with. Being at home on grass in front of a loud, noisy crowd gives them a huge benefit, and it should play well. They're the fastest defense in the NFL. The first time these two teams play, it was 21-14 in Minnesota with no Warren Sapp. He's back and as menacing as ever. Watch out for him tonight.
But what about Tampa Bay offensively? Dilfer out, and so Sean King, age 22, 4 years at Tulane, finished very high in the Heisman Trophy balloting last year, gets the start.
Oh, boy, he is poised. He's something else for a man of his age. But I will tell you this, if there's a defense in the NFL that you want to play against, it's this one. They're 31st out of 31 teams. So look for Sean King to get up early, throw it deep, try to test those young corners of the Minnesota Vikings, especially in nickels down situations. If the Vikings cannot muster a pass rush on him, it could be a long night for this defense.
Vikings have won 5 straight. Bucs have won 4 straight. The winner shares first place with Detroit in the NFC Central.
Shannon's please, has always talking trash.
You're paying, baby!
He's always trying to get inside your head.
Seahorse, you don't know your elbows from your...
And sometimes, he can get downright nasty.
I bet you pay transaction fees on your mutual funds. Your mama pays full commission. You know how to calculate a P/E ratio?
When we created a smarter kind of investment firm,
How diversified is your portfolio?
we created a smarter kind of investor.
You can't even spell Dow Jones. Okay, guys, let's get this right. To calculate a P/E ratio, you divide the stock price.
ABC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
A few years back, Tony Dungy was an assistant under Dennis Green in Minnesota. Now in his 4th year as the Bucs head coach, and he's with Leslie Visser. Hi, Leslie.
Hey, Alan Boomer. Well, as you guys know, Minnesota lost its only game in this field last year. Tony, we saw Dan Marino have a great rookie year, but not many do. What do you expect from Sean King?
Well, Sean is a real poised young man. I think he's going to play great if we play well around him.
You're missing Warwick Dunn, who's also your leading receiver. What effect will that have?
We have to make some adjustments, especially in our third down package, but we're going to move Mike to halfback and give him most of the carries tonight.
Well, it should be a great matchup. Thank you, Tony. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Leslie. Mike, as in Mike Allstott. The burden will really fall on him tonight with Dunn out. Martin Gramatica, the native of Argentina, who went to Kansas State, their 3rd-round choice. Yo Murphy and Mo Williams back. So Yo and Mo to return the kick. Everybody was early in the lineup as Mo Williams takes it at the 3, out past the 20, and bang down at the 24-yard line.
You've been waiting all day to say that.
I swear I just thought of it just then.
I don't believe that.
Honest. I've lost too many brain cells. I have no time to think about that. You've got Jeff George starting at quarterback with his 6th start since replacing Randall Cunningham in mid-October. And behind him, Robert Smith healthy again. Kleinsasser, the rookie, the blocking back. Moss and Carter outside. We'll see a lot of Jake Reed, and Glover is the tight end. Good line. Stussy, the future Hall of Famer McDaniel, Christie, Dixon, and Stringer up front. Crowd is roaring. First down. And and it's a fake end around, and then a screen to Smith. And Robert Smith with a big gainer skirting the sideline, and then finally he is forced out of bounds by Damian Robinson. So a very well-designed and well-executed opening play for Minnesota.
Designed the key out. Ray Sherman, the offensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings, knows that this Tampa defense is going to be over-aggressive, especially here at home. He fakes a reverse, comes back with the screen, and you play against that aggressiveness, and you try to use that to your advantage. That's exactly what they did on that first play, and there is Ray Sherman.
34 yards, equaling the longest play given up by Tampa in either of their last two games. Robert Smith through the middle. Smith to the 38-yard line. Let's look at this Buck defense, number 2 in the National Football League. Jacksonville is number 1 at the moment. Ahanotu, Culpepper, the great Warren Sapp, and Steve White up front. The linebackers, Quarles, Nickerson in the middle, and Brooks having a fabulous season. The corners are Abraham and Barber, and the safeties are Lynch and Robinson. And each of those guys, Lynch and Robinson, missed some time in practice this week and were questionable coming into the weekend, but start tonight because of injury. Second down, 7. Leroy Horde has come into the game, spelling Smith. And it is intercepted by Donnie Abraham. And the crowd will really roar now. Touchdown, Tampa.
What a play by Donnie Abraham coming on the corner blitz. Jeff George reads the blitz. He tries to throw it over him. And Abraham going up and making the catch for a 55-yard interception return. That's why this defense is so good. They score points. Oh, what a play.
In the last 3 games, Abraham has intercepted 4 passes, and it's the second he's run back for a touchdown.
Jeff George is reading Abraham the whole way. His wide receiver sees it. They point it out. They try to execute exactly what they're supposed to do. Abraham knows this, and he goes after the football and makes a terrific play.
Now Martin Gramatica for the point after. Abraham, Martin, and you know the rest, and it's 7-0. Tampa taking the lead, 1:29 into the opening quarter at a raucous Raymond James Stadium.
Donnie Abraham right here, and here's Jake Reed pointing him out to Jeff George. Jeff George sees the blitz coming, and he tries to negotiate the throw, but Abraham, knowing the Minnesota Vikings are going to do that, reads and reacts to the play and anticipates the play. And you can see right there why these players are so good on this defense. They know exactly what they're doing. Monty Kiffin, their defensive coordinator, does a good job of getting them ready for this game.
7-0 as Grammatica's kickoff is very short and is fielded up at the 16-yard line by Yo Murphy, who last week was in Tampa's camp. And he brings it back out to the 35. Back to the touchdown again we go.
All week long, you're in films and you're studying your opponent. And Tampa knows that if they bring a corner off the weak side like that, that Jeff George is going to react. And his react is to throw the ball to Jake Reed. But Donnie Abraham knows that also. And so somebody's got to make a play. And who makes the play? The defensive back does.
After the Vikings had begun the game with a 32-yard opening burst, followed by a Smith run through the middle, they were on the move. Now Minnesota with its second possession from the 35-yard line, and they give it to Robert Smith. He picks up 4. Robert Smith missed 3 games earlier in the year with a hernia, had surgery, but he's back healthy and comes off a big game last week, Boomer.
And you want to see why the Tampa defense is so good. On your television screens at home, you'll see 11 guys in the frame a lot of times around the ball carrier. There's Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator. I talked to him this morning. He stresses pursuit. Get after it. Go get the ball. Go after that ball carrier and make him pay when you arrive at the scene. And that's exactly what they do.
Second down and 6 from the 39-yard line. Keep it on the ground again, and Robert Smith breaks another one and takes it inside the 40 to the 38. So against that 4-man front, they exploit the middle with Smith again. Kelly knocks him down. First down, Vikings. Kleinsasser leading the way with a block. He's the blocking back, a rookie out of North Dakota, their second pick.
Take a look at the linebackers. There's Nickerson, 56, 55, Brooks in the middle. Kleinsasser takes Nickerson on. And Robert Smith follows his block. One of the things about Robert Smith is he is an extremely good vision back, meaning that he knows where to find those holes and make those cuts.
Now they bring Horde in the game to spell him, and Leroy Horde, no slouch, lost the football,
Get up.
And it is Tampa Bay with Damian Robinson recovering.
Oh.
Two turnovers in 3 minutes, 7 seconds. Dennis Green a little shell shock. And Sean King will make his debut with the lead after the second turnover.
I was telling Damian Robinson, get up with the fumble and go. Minnesota has done everything that you could ask in terms of getting the right plays calls and your players making plays. But when they throw the interception and the fumble, obviously you can't do that on the road, especially against a division opponent like this in this type of situation.
Among guys who've been in the league for a while, Leroy Horde has the highest fumble rate, so this is not that unusual.
You see that's Hardy Nickerson actually getting in behind and knocking that ball out.
Forced it, Robinson recovers it, and now Sean King with Rabi Abdullah in the backfield in place of Dunn, and they begin with a pass to Jacquez Green. And Green, the second-year guy out of Florida, to the 36. Sean King grew up across the bay in St. Petersburg, went to Gibbs High School. His father coaches the JV basketball team there now, went to Tulane, had a great career with the Green Wave. Picked in the second round. Abdullah and Allstott in the backfield. Green and Emmanuel, the wideouts. Moore, the tight end. Gruber, Doggins, Mayberry, Middleton, and Wunsch up front. Gruber in his 12th year. Mayberry, the center, in his 10th year. They're the rocks in the interior. Allstott and Dunn normally form that 1-2 punch, but Dunn out with an ankle tonight. It'll be third down at about 4. Let's look at the Viking defense, ranked dead last in the league through yesterday's games. Randall, Ball, Williams, and Dolman up front. Chris had retired and then came back. Rudd, McDaniel, and Wong are the linebackers. In the secondary, the rookie Kenny Wright and Jimmy Hitchcock with Griffith and Thomas.
A lot of missed tackles on this defense. Not pursuing like they should be pursuing. Talking to Foch Fazio before the game, the defensive coordinator, he said, you're going to see a different defense. I said, is that going to be because you're playing against one of the worst offenses, or are you going to do something different?
Third down and 5, and it was a whistle before the snap, and it's procedure will start against Tampa Bay.
Prior to the snap, both start. Number 85 in the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Riddell Anthony, as you look at Trent Dilfer, who had been so durable in his career, and then last week the broken collarbone on a sack in the game at Seattle.
Now, he told me today that it's the first game that he's actually missed due to injury. Now, this is a situation that you don't want your young quarterback in. 3rd and 10, big game on Monday night. A guy that hasn't really seen a lot of defenses in the NFL. Let's see how he handles this situation now.
Out of the shotgun. Dave Moore in motion. Sets up in the slot. Here they come. King rolling against the grain and looking and throws, and it's out of bounds.
One of the reasons that they move him out of the pocket is they know that Minnesota is going to blitz. They know that they're going to bring the outside guys. They know that they're going to try to put pressure on them. They bring Dwayne Rudd, number 57. There he is. And they try to get Sean King out of the pocket and get him away from all of that stuff and reduce his reads to half the field. Not a bad thought by Mike Shula, their offensive coordinator. Just get your young quarterback who is mobile outside. Nobody's open. Just throw it away.
Mark Royals, long career in his second tour of duty as the punter, second tour here in Tampa. Fielded by Yo Murphy, and Murphy is taken down at the 22.
Hey, Yo, welcome back to Tampa Bay.
And the Tampa Bay Bucs with the early lead, 7-0.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. From our family to yours, we wish you a very safe and happy holiday season.
Dave Gardner! We've just routed delivered a bullet train directly to your office. It'll be here in 20 seconds unless you pick the PC that'll reroute the train in time. Will you choose the PC with Intel Pentium 3 or the one with the new AMD Athlon processor? Many people don't know there's a faster PC processor than Pentium 3 at any clock speed. The new AMD Athlon processor. Now you chose wrong, Dave. Too bad you didn't know about the new AMD Athlon processor. Oh, that had to hurt, huh?
The look? A cascade of gemstones set in golden hoops. Just $1.99 and the matching diamond earrings are free. The holiday jewelry sale at JCPenney.
Which way, Rex? Right, I mean left! Look out! Ha-ha, we're here!
Hurry to McDonald's to get your Disney and Pixar Toy Story 2 candy dispensers. Collect all 6. Where? Did somebody say McDonald's?
Wednesday, Two Guys and a Girl is all new. Hoo-ah! Or is that all nude?
That's the stuff.
Nope, it's all new. Two Guys and a Girl. See you Wednesday on ABC.
Looking down into Raymond James Stadium, second year for this new facility.
Where's this camera?
Well, we have a helicopter and a blimp.
We're shooting the blimp now. I like it.
Bud 1 airship. We spare no expense on this show, Boomer. You know that.
Greg Janoff, our director's got to love that. An extra camera.
From the 23-yard line, Jeff George flips one out, and it's incomplete. That's Klein Saucer, who is the blocking back, the fullback. Second down and 10. Buccaneer defense on the first couple of Viking possessions. Jeff George throwing and Abraham picking it off and Donnie running it in for the 7-0 lead, and then the fumble by Leroy Horde. Robinson covering it, and with less than 6 minutes gone, already 2 turnovers as the Vikings try to get on track, and that's not a particularly good way to do it. Well, Boomer, when we saw the Vikings a month ago, we saw a lot of this. Todd
Prior to
Sushi.
the snap. Number 73, the offense, false start. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
I can just imagine Todd Sushi right now saying, you know what, that Boomer's going to kill me again on Monday Night Football.
Go to it.
Well, I don't want to kill him. He didn't play well the last time we saw him against Dallas. He is a Pro Bowler. He's a guy that you expect more from. I know that it's a difficult place to hear, but as a tackle who's been a Pro Bowl tackle, you just can't do this.
Like a lack of concentration. Second down and 15 from the 18-yard line. That is caught by Jake Reed. Good coverage, good tackle by Brian Kelly, their nickelback.
Al, the key thing about defense in this league, it's about pursuing, it's about getting to the ball carrier. But when you're one-on-one, like Brian Kelly was just there, you have to make the tackle. They're sure tacklers. Tony Dungy and Monty Kiffin both stress this. And watch how he goes right for Jake Reed's legs. Does not let him get away. There's no going up top. They're going right after the belt.
Tony Dungy now in his 4th year here. Leroy Horde is in the game in the backfield. Single back in this set. 3rd down and 11. And they set up the screen for Horde. And Leroy's able to break it past the 30. And he has a first down out of bounds at the 37-yard line.
Damian Robinson was lucky that they didn't flag him right there for a hit out of bounds. Very close. But again, the Vikings are running plays, screens, fake reverses, draws that will work against a real pursuing defense, an overly aggressive defense, and that's where they're having their success right now. You see right here, Warren Sapp coming untouched. Now watch Horde as he gets to the sideline. Now he's out of bounds and gets hit. Very close.
14-yard gain on a 3rd and 11. From the 36-yard line, George pressured, sacked at the 28. It was Brad Culpepper, the small guy up front. He's 6'1" and 270.
But he's the grunt of the bunch, Al. He's the guy that takes on the two-man double teams inside. And Warren Sapp is the guy. Look at the double team he's got to take on in there. Somebody's got to handle those guys, and then they let him go. Another lack of concentration, but Culpepper's the guy that's always going against double teams to free up Warren Sapp. It's nice to see the grunt get a little bit of the praise.
The grunt has 3.5 sacks. Sapp has 10. Ahanitu has 6.5. Ford and John Henry Mills flank George out of the shotgun here. Over the middle, Ford makes the catch and gets wrestled down by Lynch up at the 32-yard line. John Lynch, very hard-hitting safety, and a guy very well known to Dennis Green. Lynch played at Stanford when Green was the head coach of the Cardinals.
Did you know that he was a quarterback at one time, Al?
I did.
You'd never think that a guy that hits that hard could play quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm. Where are you leading with this?
I'm just telling you that we're tough guys. Quarterbacks are tough guys. You have to be tough to play, and he obviously couldn't do what a quarterback does, but he could actually hit better than we could.
Gotcha. Third down and 13. 7.5 to go in the first quarter. George stepping up, a little slip. The Horde gets a nice block and then gets upended at the 49, but that's another first down. So Horde seeing a lot of action here. Randy Moss with a block to help spring him. Kelly knocks him down. First down, Vikes. Enhanced TV is online right now. You can get live up to the minute stats. Play an interactive game. Also, there's trivia. Go to ESPN.com or NFL.com, and you can log on to Enhanced TV.
Al, what I like about Jeff George right now, he's not forcing anything. He's taking the underneath stuff, and Leroy Horde is rewarding him by making first downs. Here comes the blitz again, and they see it
back
again.
In the game, and that's knocked down, and that's Brian Kelly who almost pulled an Abraham.
Well, it's the same thing. When you know your opponent as well as these two teams do, you know how teams are going to react when you do something to them. So Tony Dungy and Monty Kiffin know that if they bring their cornerbacks off the receivers, that they're telling him, look, you might get an interception here. And right now, this is 25 Brian Kelly's turn, and he almost gets another interception. Jeff George almost caught it back, and I don't want that. Get out of here. Chidi Hanatu's right next to me.
Second down and 10 from the 48-yard line. Five-man rush, and that is thrown so hard it deflects off Brooks' hands and goes another 20 yards in the air. Third down and 10. Hardy Nickerson is probably the best known of the linebackers for Tampa, but Brooks is having a Pro Bowl type of season.
When you think about MVPs, Al, and you think about all the players around the league that are playing great, we'll see one next week in Jimmy Smith, the wide receiver for Jacksonville. Chris Carter has to be a candidate, and Derek Brooks has to be a candidate. Both of these guys are playing on different levels.
Carter, maybe the best five-game stretch of his career in his 13th season. Hasn't caught a ball, though, tonight yet. Third down and 10. And George fires, and that's Reed making the catch, and Jake gets taken down at the 30-yard line. So it's another third down conversion for Minnesota. Their third on this drive. 22-yard gain here.
And if there's a team in a league that can do this, this is the Minnesota Vikings, the high-flying purple and gold circus coming to town. And you can take a look at this. Just a nice, easy in pattern. Now, Jake Reed had been in a slump prior to last week. He had 4 catches against San Diego. Jeff George stands in there nicely, delivers it on target, and Jake Reed makes a nice catch.
Amazingly, the Vikings have 120 yards of offense and not a single catch by Moss or Carter yet. From the 31, and they're down 7-0. Here's Robert Smith going next to nowhere. He's taken down by Damian Robinson. The Vikings last year, 15-1, they only lost to Tampa, and then they were ambushed in the NFC Championship game by Atlanta. Ray Sherman came over. The offensive coordinator last year, as you look at the total yardage, was Brian Billick, now the head coach at Baltimore. They named Chip Myers as their offensive coordinator, and he tragically died about 3 weeks later, and then Sherman came over from Pittsburgh. He had been with Green before.
People don't realize how big of a loss Chip Myers was to this team. It took Ray Sherman a few weeks just to get acclimated to who these guys were and what they could do.
Second down and 8, and another sack. And a flag is down, though, at the line of scrimmage, so for the moment, it's Warren Sapp shaking his head and wondering who the penalty is against.
It's going to be downfield against the Buccaneers in the secondary.
Side defense, number 78, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
He said, who? Says Tony. It's Marcus Jones, 78. Marcus is rotated in, not one of the starting 4.
Well, interesting that this officiating crew would call the penalty right there in the end, number 78.
Yeah.
This officiating crew throws the second least amount of penalty flags in the league.
Right.
Until tonight.
Jeff Triplett is the referee. It's the first Monday night game that he has called in his 4th year in the league. Second down and 3. And going nowhere is Robert Smith. I mentioned before it rained this afternoon. The field is a little soggy. He couldn't get on track, and Nickerson and Sapp are there to knock him down.
No, in talking to Monty Kiffin this morning, Al, we were asking him about his defense and what really gives them the relentless nature that they have, it's seemingly on every play. He's talking about Hardy Nickerson, Derek Brooks, John Lynch, Warren Sapp, true professionals that play at a fever pitch in practice, let alone in a game. So they carry it to the practice field, to the game field.
3rd down and 6. Jeff George 3 times on this drive has converted on 3rd down. Flags are down. George going for the end zone for Carter, and that's incomplete. Covering on the play was Donnie Abraham, and double covering was Damian Robinson.
He's got to be on the defense, I would think.
John Lynch blitzed and may have come across the line early.
Well, let's...
Illegal shift.
Oh, I can't get these guys down, Al. I usually get these guys down.
And the rest of the players were still in motion. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
That's Randy Moss.
It looked to me like it was the defense when they were blitzing up the middle, but certainly a nice solid series right there for Tampa Bay, not allowing the Vikings to convert on 3rd down.
Now Gary Anderson on 4th down will attempt a field goal. His longest this season, only 40 yards. This will be from 46 yards. Mitch Berger to hold it. Mike Morris to snap it.
Gone.
And Anderson's kick heading for the upright and grazes it. No good. And with 3:49 left in the opening quarter, the Vikings have outgained Tampa Bay 119 yards to 5, but the Bucs lead it 7-0.
So it be in Tampa Bay, Al.
And that's the first graphic you see. You figure Minnesota has the lead.
Big.
Abraham with an interception and ran it back for a touchdown. And despite the overwhelming numbers for Minnesota, it's 7-0 Tampa. And now the Bucs try to get on track on this possession as you look at Warwick Dunn watching Mike Allstott picking up 8. Warwick, as you can see, averaging only 3.3 yards per carry, not having a stellar season, now out with an ankle. The Bowl Championship Series, those 4 bowl games coming your way on ABC beginning January 1st, and capped off on the 4th with Florida State and Virginia Tech in the Nokia Sugar Bowl for the national championship. 2nd and a deuce from the 44, 3:10 left opening period. And it is Allstott into Minnesota territory. Mike Allstott taken down by Hitchcock from behind. So he breaks one. And Kevin McLeod, the fullback from Auburn, with the block to string him.
Now there you see the problems with the Minnesota Viking defense. 2 big runs. Guys are not holding the point of attack, and they're running right through holes that you could run through, Al. Take a look at this. Watch McLeod lead right through. Everybody gets washed down. There's nobody covering that gap out there. You can't leave 37 Jimmy Hitchcock by himself on 3 players.
30-yard carry for Allstott. And this is caught by Jaquez Green, and he takes it to the 17-yard line. Green picked in the 2nd round last year out of Florida. Sean King grew up in St. Petersburg, across the bay. Went to Gibbs High School, and there's a shot of him at the age of 6.
He hasn't gotten much bigger than that.
Gibbs High School in St. Pete. He played, as you look at his shot from the 1995 yearbook, and then it was on to Tulane. He wanted to go to Florida State, and Bobby Bowden never offered him a visit.
What is Bobby thinking about?
2nd and 1. Here's Allstott, and he rumbles down to the 10-yard line.
Well, we know what Bobby's thinking about. He's thinking about Virginia Tech right now, right?
Right now. He's been well served at a few positions in his career.
He really has. And when you watch Sean King, when you watch him throw the ball, he's only thrown 2 passes tonight, attempted 2 passes. Both been short. Mike Shula is just trying to get him into the game. The one pass that he did not complete was on the sideline. But he has remarkable poise for a kid that's 22 years old, and he expects to win. That's all he knows. He was 12-0 at Tulane last year.
First and goal, and Allstott can't go anywhere. The Bucs this year, 8 goal-to-go situations, and they've scored touchdowns on only 3 of them. Monday Night Football brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee with legendary off-road capability. The St. Paul Companies, property and liability insurance for business, without question, the St. Paul. Phillips, technology that's making life a little better all the time. And Budweiser, the beer with the fresh, clean taste that's never filling.
I was saying that Sean King actually set the passer rating mark last year in the NCAA all time.
That's Tulane.
Yep.
Second down and goal, throwing over the middle. That is caught by Bert Emanuel, who's been hurt all year, and Bert's only made 11 catches, and Dwayne Rudd stops him at the 6.
And when you see Sean King, you can see right there, 183.3. Now, I don't know what that efficiency rating means, but it is the equivalent to 128. I don't even know what that means in the NFL.
I don't know what it means either.
But I'm just saying it's really good.
But it is. It's the best of all time.
So it's really good.
And Dungy's watched a good quarter for the Bucs, who lead at 7-0, end of 1. And Monday Night Football from lively Tampa returns after this message and a word from our ABC station.
By Toyota.
How far would you go to protect your children?
Yeah.
Would you run into a burning building? Would you face a charging grizzly bear? Would you drive a minivan?
Toyota Sienna did better overall in Insurance Institute crash tests than any other vehicle ever.
Life with you is so sweet. Love makes me.
We start the second quarter in Tampa. Al Michaels, Boomer Esiason, and Leslie Visser. Spirited first period. Tampa leading 7-0 on an Abraham run back. The always loquacious John Randall into the act on 3rd and goal for Tampa Bay as the second quarter begins at the Minnesota 6-yard line. King checking off and in the pocket, taking off, and Sean can only get to the 2-yard line. Kylie Wong dumps him there, and they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt.
And now you saw Sean King signaling out to his wide receivers. That's the poise that is unexpected from a young quarterback like Sean King. He's making audibles. He's signaling outside. He showed the poise. He didn't force anything. He knew that he was down in field goal range. There's Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator. You know, Tony Dungy told Trent Dilfer about 2 weeks into the season, I don't care what you do. Just don't throw interceptions. We have a defense that can win any game for us, but don't give the ball away.
Right.
And I'm sure that Sean King is under those same instructions.
20-yard attempt by Martin Gramatica, and the rookie from Kansas State bangs it through after King leads them down the field. Early second quarter, Tampa Bay 10, Minnesota nothing. One airship hovering high above Raymond James Stadium, which is next door to where the old Tampa Stadium used to be. This facility built and opened last year here in Tampa, and it's beautiful.
And right next to Legends Field, the spring training park of the New York Yankees.
The Yankees. Gulf Coast here in Florida for years and years, home to many teams in Major League Baseball spring training. And Yo Murphy and Mo Williams are back to receive the kick from Martin Gramatica.
Are you going to give it to us again?
Mo and Yo?
Many people think that's you and me up here.
Yes, it does. I'm curly as well. This is another short kick. One hopped at the 17-yard line by Yo Murphy. He brings it back out to the 33.
You could see that this game means something by looking at that at the sideline.
Yep, a little pushy shovey with a minute gone in the second period. NFL, the most touchdown passes in the first 5 starts with a team. Interestingly, both guys setting the mark this year. Kurt Warner with the Rams in his first 5 starts, and Jeff George who's made the last 5 starts for the Minnesota Vikings. 15-5, and Robert Smith spins his way to nowhere, undercut by Warren Sapp, no gain.
Al, one of the things that the defense does for Tampa is they move their defensive line around all the time. They move them inside, outside, they slant, they try to hit the seams, they create levels for the offensive linemen. And an offensive line has to stay on the same level as to not have crevices for those defensive linemen to get through. And you just saw Warren Sapp do just that.
Warren Sapp, and you mentioned it at the outset, Boomer, he was not in the lineup in their first game this season, the two teams meeting in Minnesota, and it probably was the difference, 21-14, and Randy Moss finally gets into the act as he makes the catch at the 47-yard line. And when you look at the Vikings with Moss and with Carter and with Reed and with Robert Smith and Jeff George playing the way he is, I think offensively they're playing as well as they did last year when they set all kinds of offensive records.
And the only thing now is that they're not scoring points. And talking to Chris Dolman before the game, the defensive end for the Vikings, he said, you know what, we're not concerned about all the yards we're giving up. We just want to make the plays when we have to. And that's exactly what Tampa's defense has done tonight thus far.
12:50 left in the first half, 10-0. The Bucs on top, first down Minnesota from the 47-yard line. Pump fake, and he goes the other way with a great arm, and it's off the fingertips of Moss. And Damian Robinson covering must have thought, no way does Randy drop this one.
What a missile by Jeff George. And when you watch Jeff George, you watch him, and he has the mechanics that are awful. And he says that he attributes that because when he was a kid, he used to play shortstop. And when you watch Ray Ordonez of the New York Mets, the way he plays shortstop, there's Red McCombs, the owner of the Minnesota Vikings.
Next to George Steinbrenner, by the way.
Right. But when you watch a great shortstop like an Ozzie Smith or a Ray Ordonez or a Derek Jeter, sometimes they're not in the greatest throwing mode. They just get the ball there. And that's why Jeff George tends to throw it like he's a shortstop sometimes.
2nd and 10 on a draw. Robert Smith to the 45. Chidi Ahanatu made the tackle. And you know, all the years I worked with Frank Gifford, and Frank, I think, saw a little bit of football in his time. He said that Jeff George had the best arm he ever saw. Period.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with him. And when you watch his release, it's so quick. Now watch, he's backing up, he's moving. The ball's down around his waist. There's nothing pretty about that other than the fact that he knows where he can get it to, and he gets it there accurately.
3rd and 2 from the 45-yard line. And they stack the left side. Culpepper nearly jumps, but got back, no flag. And that is incomplete at the 41. Blanket coverage by Nickerson, but a flag comes down. He blanketed him illegally. Jake Reed, the intended receiver.
And they're going to call interference on Hardy Nickerson. Now, the interesting thing about when you're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Al.
Defense, number 56. Ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. 1st and 10.
When you catch the ball, you're going to get hit. And you watch this here, and you ask me, you answer this for me. Is this interference or not? I don't think so.
Very close call. I mean, is he there before the ball gets there is the question.
No,
well,
that's not interference. I'm sorry, that's not interference.
High goes to the runner. Smith. 1.5 yards, maybe 2 to the 38, tackled by the ever-active Damian Robinson.
But I was going to tell you, playing against this defense, you just have to continue to battle. They're going to make some plays against you, but you will have opportunities. And when those opportunities present themselves, that's when you have to make the play. Now, Randy Moss didn't make the play, but certainly you could see the plays are there.
2nd and 8. There is Jeff George, 37 and 70 in his career at Indianapolis, Atlanta, and Oakland coming into this year, and a perfect 5-0 as a Vike. From the 38, the fake, and Reed, and he breaks the first tackle and the second, and then pays the price, gets crunched at the 32-yard line. Donnie Abraham, the first guy to get there, and the second guy to get there was John Lynch. About 2.5 yards shy of the first down.
Alshon Singleton was there as well, and I'm telling you, catch a ball against these guys, watch out. There's Donnie Abraham, he doesn't make it. Here comes Singleton, he doesn't make it. And there comes Lynch, and back comes Abraham. That's the type of defense you want. You want guys flying to the football like that. I'm all jacked up playing up here. I might hit you around.
Listen, don't do that now. 3rd down and 2. It's a long two from the 32-yard line as George throws, and flag comes in. Reed couldn't make the catch. Good coverage that time. Ronde Barber got an arm on it.
I think they're going to call Ronde Barber on this as well. He's been holding him past 5 yards.
Prior to the pass. Holding. Defense. Number 20. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
It is.
So a little bit over aggressive at the line of scrimmage. You can hit him up until 5 yards, but after that you got to let him go. And Ronde Barber was grabbing on to Chris Carter. That's actually Jake Reed. It looks like. There's Carter. There goes Jake. It's Jake Reed right there. And Ronde was holding him. Yep.
Ronde, the twin brother of the Giants' Tiki Barber. First down at the 27-yard line. Robert Smith taken down from behind by Hardy Nickerson. And Smith reaching for his left hamstring. He has been oft injured in his career. This year, the hernia. So every time Robert reaches for something, Denny Green puts his heart in his throat. The Tampa Bay defense, talking about them tonight, they have not allowed a touchdown on the last 58 drives that the opponents have started at or inside the 40-yard line. And this would be one such drive, this one commencing at the 33, second down and 8 from the 25. George buying time for Moss in the end zone. Underthrows it, picked off by Donnie Abraham.
And what a hit by Damian Robinson as he makes the catch.
Yep.
They're just out there trying to hit people.
Donnie Abraham with 5 interceptions now in the last 3 games. A touchdown tonight, 2 picks, 3 turnovers. And Green can only shake his head. It's been that kind of start for the Vikings. 10-0 Tampa, and the Bucs have the ball. Buccaneers won in Seattle because they created 6 turnovers, 5 interceptions, and a fumble. Tonight they already have 3. And from the 20-yard line, it's a little swing from King out to Robbie Abdullah, who's getting in some action tonight in the absence of the injured Warrick Dunn.
We were talking to Denny Green last night. We were asking him about Sean King. How do you defend him? What are you worried about? He said, I'm not really worried about Sean King. What I'm worried about is the 4 fastest wide receivers on a given roster in the NFL, and that's what the Buccaneers have. I would like to see them go downfield, and let's see how Sean King can throw, how far he can throw it, and let either Jacques Green, Riedel Anthony, or Bert Emanuel come down with it.
Sooner or later, you would think, and he has a 10-0 cushion right now, second down and 7. But to the ground they go, and they create a little bit of a hole for Allstott, who takes it to the 27, 3rd and 3, and we go to Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Al, as you know, last week, Tampa Bay ran a play called K5Z corner against Seattle in the 3rd quarter, and it might have ended Trent Dilfer's season. Trent, first, how are you, and might you return this season?
Well, I'm getting better. I hope to return. All I can do right now is rest, and hopefully I'll get back into playoffs.
Meanwhile, your understudy's doing pretty well. What do you think of Sean King?
He really is. The kid's got a lot of poise. I've been very calm all week. Had a good week of practice. He's doing a great job in the run game, actually. We're doing some check with me runs and some audibles. He's doing a great job.
And just finally, do you think you'll be back in a uniform here next year?
I really do.
Well, Tony Dungy would like to have you back. Thanks. Back to you, Al.
In the meantime, you've got a fumble and not an incomplete pass. His arm was not coming forward. Hit by Chris Dolman. Dislodging the football and recovered by John Randall. And so the Vikings get exactly what they need at this point. Not only a turnover, but deep in Tampa territory.
Take a look at this. Here's number 56. Paul Gruber goes down. I don't know why he should be turning out on the defensive end. That's a huge mistake by number 74 Gruber, the all-pro left tackle. We'll take a look and see if we should review this, whether or not they're going to. Now, Tony Dungy has not had a lot of luck in this situation.
He hasn't, but they're going to hold him up, and so clearly they're going to ask for it.
has challenged the ruling on the field that it was a fumble.
Okay, Al, here we go.
Here we go again. So Dolman, at least for the moment, exultant over creating a fumble. We'll see if it holds up. Is the arm coming forward? This is what they'll be looking for. Very close.
Is it definitive, and will he change it? That's the question.
Yep.
I don't think he changes it looking at it that way.
Right. Now, remember what we talked about last week, and I think this is a very important fact that's been slightly overlooked with replay. A call is made on the field, so what you're asking them to do is overturn it. If it's inconclusive, in this particular situation, he ruled it a fumble. So to overturn it, you have to rule it an incomplete pass. Had it been ruled an incomplete pass, you then have to overturn that and rule it a fumble. So there's a huge difference as to what is initially called on the field. That would work at the moment in favor of the Vikings.
Now remember, the referee has to overrule himself right now because he's the guy who makes this particular call in the backfield.
Right.
So he at least knows what he thought he saw, as opposed to wondering what somebody else. There should be no discussion between anybody else. It's his call all the way.
Right. This is Jeff Triplett. We mentioned it's the first time he's reffed a Monday night game. He's been an official in the league for 4 years.
I saw him tonight before the game. I said, "How you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right." I said, "Well, look, and I know it's Monday night. Let's try to keep the flags in the pocket and try to stay off TV. All right?"
Well, this was pretty quick. He just looked at one replay. We understand. And here comes the call.
I don't think he changes it.
I don't think so either.
After reviewing the play, it is a fumble as the quarterback came out empty-handed. Tampa Bay is charged a timeout.
Again, it's one of those calls. If it's gray enough, they're going to stick with the call on the field.
And I was talking about Chris Tolman, who told me earlier tonight it's about making plays at opportune times, and that's exactly what he does now. Now, Gruber makes the mistake by not blocking him, and the ball comes out, and Dolman's right there.
They got it right at the 22-yard line, first down for Minnesota. Smith, and in the backfield comes Ronde Barber. So Barber coming in on the run blitz and takes him down in the backfield.
When I watch this game and I watch some of the films of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out, you just have to wonder how long the defense can continue to hold up if the offense does not take some time off the clock. An interception, a fumble, a missed field goal, and another interception for the Vikings. But if the offense of the Buccaneers does not give them a chance, they're going to be tired by the fourth quarter, and that's when these games are won.
Second down and 11. Good protection, a swing, and that is Andrew Glover making the catch, the tight end. He is taken down by Kelly, his first catch of the night. Wednesday, Mimi Rogers guest stars on the all-new It's Like You Know, a new night Wednesday right here on ABC. Third down, 6. Vikings have outgained the Bucs to this point, 156 to 70.
And they double them in time of possession.
The trail 10-0. Third and 6. Barber gets knocked down on the blitz. It's caught by Reed, breaks the tackle, picks up the first down, and makes it first and goal. Shoved out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Broke a Brian Kelly tackle and takes it to the 7-yard line.
Marcus Jones runs all the way out from his defensive end spot, makes a tackle on Jake Reed. But again, you have to make the tackle at the point of attack to keep them in front of you and allow your defense to get there. But Jeff George reads the blitz, this time throws away from the blitz, and Jake Reed makes a nice catch and run, and he's starting to play better as each week comes by now.
And the cornerback Barber was hurt on the play, and he comes limping off the field. First and goal from the 7-yard line. George gives it to Robert Smith. Huge hole, and then a crunching hit by Lynch at the 1.5.
Now, we can hear these hits from up here.
I think you can hear them in Clearwater. Oh. Robert Smith is the one guy you really want to handle the football. We mentioned Ford before as the highest rate of fumbles among the active backs in the National Football League.
And this is it. This is where you make your money down here. Look at Klein Saucer take on Hardy Nickerson again, and you know it's going to be a war down inside the 5-yard line.
Smith has the lowest rate, but he comes out and they give it to Horde, and Leroy Horde takes it inside the 1-yard line.
Oh,
and now they say a touchdown. As one official comes in from the side, the line judge comes in, and from his view, he crossed it. So the line judge is Gary Arthur, who puts the hands up. And after the fumble, the challenge, the timeout charge to Tampa, George is able to take them into the end zone and put Minnesota right back in it.
Let's take a look at Horde right here as he extends the ball when he gets down to the goal line.
This is also a reviewable situation.
Oh, that's no way. That's a touchdown.
If Tampa wanted to review this, they can.
And I think he's going to review it. He's been beeping this referee since he came out of the locker room.
Triplett getting buzzed, in a manner of speaking.
I like the way that Triplett's handling the game, though. He runs over. He's decisive. He's making the calls.
Tampa Bay has challenged the ruling on the field, and it is a touchdown.
Well, there's Red McCombs, who fought the team last year. The look from the goal line. The camera's right on the goal line.
And this is definitive, Al. There's no question that this is not a touchdown. Let's take a look here. Tell me where that's a touchdown.
Well, he appears to have his forward progress stopped, and then he puts the ball over the goal line. Malcolm Glazer, there's the Glazer family. Malcolm, the father, on the left in the front row.
Here's the ball right there. Actually, that circle's not very good, Al. How about this? Here it is, right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now that's in the line there.
At that point, it's a touchdown. I mean, the question is, was forward progress?
Hey, can the referee see my telestrator?
I don't think so. If they whistled it dead before that point is the question. So Tampa gets 2 challenges for the entire game, and this is it. So unless
he has me telestrate and he's overturning it.
If they overturn it, that's the end of the challenges.
You like the way I'm telestrating? By the way,
you have such a steady hand, Boomer.
See, they have that thing on ESPN. Joe Theismann uses that super straighter thing. We don't have that.
No,
but I think I have a better drawing hand than
you have. A regular Crayola. I can't believe it. I mean, I don't know how you ever threw an interception. I mean, it's so.
None of those interceptions were ever my fault, by the way.
You are the Renoir of the telestrator.
Let's take a look at this again. And remember now, all the ball really has to do is touch the line. And let's take a look at this. The forward progress obviously is done right there. You can see the hands where the ball were, or where it was, I mean.
Again, go back to what we talked about before about you have to overturn the call on the field, so he'd have to overturn a touchdown. It's not as if he's looking at something that was stopped short according to the call on the field and then overturn that and make it a touchdown.
I think he set a record on the first challenge. I think he was done about 48 seconds. Maybe Steve Hurt can help us with that.
31 according to the Kenny Wolf telling me on the first challenge. But this one is, again, it's one of those indisputable visual evidence things, but appears to be disputable. And if it's disputable, it's a touchdown. Because that was the call on the field.
The one good thing about Monday night, he's going to get the best pictures. There's no question. He's going to get the best angles, the most camera angles. And Janoff and Wolf are going to find those pictures for him.
After reviewing the play, the runner scored. Touchdown, Minnesota. Timeout is charged to Tampa Bay.
Again, I go back to the fact the call on the field is very important. It's not as if there wasn't a call made in either case. In both cases, the replays were gray enough that there could not be an overturning of the initial ruling. And in both instances, it works against Tampa Bay. So they are out of challenges. They get the turnover. They get the touchdown. And it's 10-6 going on 7.
Well, give Jeff Triplett, the official, a lot of credit for handling it quickly and decisively and making the proper decisions, Al.
Here is Anderson for the point after, and that is good. And so that's about as bad a series as a team can have. A turnover, lose both challenges, give up a touchdown, 10-7. All up to the minute stats. An interactive game and trivia, all available when you go to ESPN.com or NFL.com and log on to Enhanced TV. Riddell Anthony is back to receive the kick at the 1-yard line. Anthony brings it back to the 21 after the Berger kickoff. 5:42 left in the first half in Tampa. Lots of action and a 3-point Buck lead. In Tampa, 5:42 to the half. Bucs have the ball in a 3-point lead from the 21-yard line. The series begins with a huge hole for Allstott, and he has a first down before Orlando Thomas brings him down. A 12-yard pickup. Another giant hole through the middle. Football next week, Thursday night. Oakland goes to Tennessee on ESPN. That's Thursday night at 8:15. Minnesota is the Sunday night game on ESPN at Kansas City. They're under the lights again, and we go to Jacksonville. The Jaguars with the best record in the league against the Denver Broncos. Denver-Jacksonville from East Florida next Monday night.
And Mark Brunell's back on track. 300-yard games in a row, Al.
Yes.
And Jimmy Smith is off to a great season.
Here's King throwing, and a sliding grab is made by Jacquez Green in Viking territory at the 48-yard line.
Al, when you're able to run the ball the way the Buccaneers have been able to do it with Allstott in the backfield, all you have to do is make a token fake to him and sneak your wide receiver all the way across the field above the linebackers and below the defensive backs. And there he is, wide open. It's a nice throw and allows Green to stay down and not take the hit.
From the 48-yard line, King is 5 of 6 to 39 yards. They give it to Allstott, and John Randall probably talking to him as he tackles him.
Were you talking about how loquacious he was? Warren Sapp actually told Leslie Visser that he is even more loquacious than John Randall because he speaks in full sentences. Well, here is John Randall. I don't know why they have him out at end. I guess they feel like he's a better pass rusher out there. But like Warren Sapp, when you have a guy like him that is so tenacious, if you can put him inside the middle of your defense, he can take 2 guys on and he can create all kinds of havoc in the backfield. I personally think he's a better defensive tackle, but then again, I'm a quarterback, not a defensive line coach.
You're a broadcaster. 2nd and 12, and that's tipped incomplete.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
That's right. Loquacious, it's a very good word. Sapp obviously speaking with subjects and predicates, and I suppose Randall just speaks in ellipses.
Well, the thing that they say is that John Randall's screaming so much and so quickly that it's hard to understand what he's saying.
King making a start. Look at the rookie quarterbacks who made their first start on Monday Night Football. None since the strike of 1987.
That guy owns a pizza parlor in Long Island, I think.
Cochicha for the Giants. He was the only guy who won his first start of those 12. As it is thrown and picked off by Griffith. Griffith picks it off at the 21-yard line. Intended for Jacquez Green, and there is Griffith as Minnesota now has back-to-back turnovers and back in business. So King fumbles on the last series, has this one picked here, and the Vikings have the ball down by 3.
Now you take a look at this. Sean King tries to force the ball. Right here is 24, Robert Griffith. He's the deep safety. When you're a quarterback, you have to find those safeties and know his responsibility is to the outside of him. You can't just throw up a lollipop like that without an athlete like that going to get it.
Griffith with the pick, ball at the 22. Minnesota begins this drive with a pass to Carter. Barber is back in the game. He sprained his ankle, a slight sprain, but he's back in after missing one series. And that is Carter's first catch of the game, and that's news in and of itself because Carter, as we mentioned at the beginning, has been playing over the last month the best football of his illustrious career. There it is, 44 receptions for 621 yards, 9 touchdowns. No player in the history of the league has ever reached each of those levels over any 5-game span. That's how hot he's been.
And more importantly, when the team hasn't been doing well, that's when he really steps up his game.
That was no gain right there on his first catch at 2nd down and 10 from the 22-yard line. George stepping up, a lot of room to roam, and then he goes head first to the 29, meaning they can still tackle him.
Not graceful, but smart.
No. 3rd down and 3. Monday Night Football being brought to you by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light.
1-800-COLLECT, the easy way to save. And E-Trade, the #1 place to invest online. Ford in the game. In the backfield on 3rd down and 3. Stacking Moss and Reed to the left. George comes the other way to Carter. And Chris makes the catch up at the 33-yard line, and just enough of the first down, covered by Brooks and Abraham.
And that's why he's so smart out. He knows where the first down markers are. He takes his time coming off the line of scrimmage. He sets up Abraham. George delivers a strike, and then he reaches out for the first down.
First down at the 33 at the 2-minute warning in Florida. Tampa Bay 10, Minnesota 7. Above Raymond James Stadium, the Bud 1 airship looking down tonight. Big crowd, sold out. Mike Allstott doing double duty.
How much can the defense take? You have to give them a break sooner or later, and they've been bending and making plays, but it can only last so long.
At the 33, it's a low snap, picked up by George, who then slides to a stop at the 33. Jeff Christie with a low snap. It'll be second down.
Down to number 21,
Vikings have all of their timeouts.
Bad enough knowing that the defense is coming after you. Looking for that football on the ground. It seems like it's there forever.
Second and 10 as George throws, and it's caught, falling backwards and making the catch was Robert Smith. So that's a minimal gain, if at all. Well, it will be third down.
The one thing I will say is that the offensive line of the Vikings have done an okay job protecting Jeff George tonight. Talking to Mike Tice, their offensive line coach, he says that Corey Stringer, number 77, his right tackle, is by far playing the best of the offensive linemen. And it's nice to hear that. Corey was under the gun for some of his weight problems last year.
Third down and 10. It's caught by Horde. A flag is thrown. And he stopped at the 42-yard line. The umpire throwing it. That means holding against the offense, and there is the validation.
I think you decline it here and you make them punt. As I was talking about Corey Stringer, seems like Todd Stussy likes Monday night, and he likes the spotlight, Al, because we keep calling his name.
Yep. Good way to earn a trip to Hawaii.
But this won't go in the book as a holding because they'll decline it, which is good news for Todd Stussy.
Well, the option becomes, do you want a 3rd and 20 or a 4th and 1?
Number 73. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
It's a funny little call. I mean, in a way, it's not quite a no-brainer, but it makes it 4th down, 1.5 yards. Or you can send them back and make it 3rd and 20.
That is a long 1.5 yards
yes,
against this defense. And what is it about Monday night and Todd Stussy this year?
Boomer, he can hear your voice in his helmet right now.
I don't know. He's going to want to shoot me more.
Berger to punt. Carl Williams is back to receive. Carl Williams, believe it or not, has the highest career punt return average in the history of the National Football League, and he's their backup returner. Jacquez Green is actually number 1. But here comes Williams. Now let's see him strut his stuff, and he drops the football, and Minnesota has it. At the 10-yard line, it's Antonio Banks who comes up with it. Joe Marciano, the special teams coach, can't believe it.
Well, Tony Dungy was singing the praise of Carl Williams to us last night. You can see right there that his feet slip out from under him. You have to get underneath the football, set yourself, make the catch. And Williams was in bad shape right there. That ball went right through his hands. Tony Dungy will tell you that just don't turn the ball over. We can win the game with our defense.
He had 5 fumbles on punts his first 2 years in the league, but hadn't fumbled in the last 2. Now in less than a minute, and all of their timeouts, the Vikings at the 10.5.
Here's Jeff George reading the defense and audibling down here, trying to get to a play that he thinks gives him the best chance to get into the end zone.
Robert Smith takes it down to the 4-yard line. They tackled him inbounds. Brian Kelly makes the stop, and now Minnesota takes a timeout with 47 seconds left. Ball inside the 5, second down when we come back. To the ball just inside the 5-yard line as they try to cash in on the turnover.
We just saw Jeff George audibling down here. Not all audibles are to pass plays. Sometimes he is reading the defensive front, running away from certain situations in the secondary. He saw it, and he gave Robert Smith a good chance to score there.
On second and goal, they give it to Horde, and Leroy Horde bangs his way to the goal line, and is he in? No signal yet. No signal yet. They are going to say Damian Robinson came up with a football, but after he was down, here's the call.
Minnesota, their second charge timeout.
This is an
interesting. 30-second timeout.
Take a look at this for a second. When the ball went on the first down at the 10-yard line, Boomer, I thought the nose of the ball was not quite on the 10 on first down. I was surprised they didn't put the chains down, because I think
they actually did put the chains down.
They took the chain away, saying it's first and goal, when I thought the ball was actually a little bit outside the 10. It becomes relevant here because this could have been a first down. You can see how close they are to the goal line. When they started, they were at the nose of the ball wasn't on the chalk at the 10-yard line. Which becomes a little bit relevant here if they don't get into the end zone right now. It's third down instead of first and goal at this point, with one timeout. Let's go back to the freeze thing here.
It's right
see where
there.
the ball is. It's not.
That's the line. That's the line. It's not touching the line, actually.
So if you were that close to the goal line, that should have been a first down.
Unless the nose of the ball was actually touching the line, and then when the center picks it up, he leans it back a little bit.
I was looking when they put it down. Minnesota, in the meantime, wants to review to see whether this was a touchdown or not. This is not a challenge. This is within the last 2 minutes, so this is actually the replay booth saying they're going to take a look at it.
There's our guys. Here they are.
So Jeff Triplett will go under the hood for the third time.
He's right in the middle, right there. There he is. Now let's take a look at Leroy Horde and see whether or not he gets through those mass of people. He's over. There's the line right there, Al. And he's over. That's got to be a touchdown. If the first one was a touchdown, you would think that this one was.
Again, if they're saying forward progress gets stopped and the whistle blows.
Now, where does the whistle blow here? That's the question.
Right. If the whistle blew, exactly, they should not be reviewing to begin with.
Well, there's the umpire. He's not raising his hand to signal that the play is over with.
No, nobody signaled touchdown. So now you'd have to have a clear-cut overrule.
I'm just thinking about Jeff Triplett's family.
Well, you have a communication situation here where Triplett may say, the whistle blew at this particular point. You tell me. I mean, it's talking about splitting hairs here.
Here's your reverse angle. Take a look at this now. His legs are still moving. We did not hear a whistle. I did not hear a whistle up here.
Right.
And you can see right there, he's over right there. His body is over. And usually with our microphones on the field, we will hear a whistle to stop the play.
Again, this would have to be an overrule, so Triplett is looking for indisputable visual evidence it was a touchdown. Otherwise, there's no challenge here, as we said, because this is instigated by the officials upstairs. So it's either going to be a touchdown or it's going to be third down and goal from the 2-inch line with 33 seconds left in the half.
So what we don't know is we don't know whether or not the whistle was blown.
Right.
And only he knows that, and he's not talking to anybody else, because if the whistle were blown, why would he even be looking at it, right?
Exactly.
He wouldn't be reviewing it if the whistle had blown.
You wouldn't think unless he... it's almost impossible to figure out all of the ramifications because the whistle...
There's the ball
would have
right
been blown,
there.
not necessarily by the referee.
And it's over the line. Over the goal line. Well, he's getting his money's worth tonight, isn't he, Al? A lot of FaceTime.
Or, well,
back time and FaceTime.
Countenance time.
It's like he told the officials that it wasn't a touchdown. No, let's see.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. The runner is stopped short of the goal line. Third down.
Okay, again, for the third time in a row, we've had a situation where the official feels you do not have indisputable visual evidence, and so you stick with the call in the field. Now the big question becomes, since I don't think they put the ball in the, or they should have had a first down here because the chains were not put down when the ball was outside the 10. Let's see if that's academic or not. Third down and goal from the 2-inch line.
I still don't see how that's not indisputable visual evidence.
George throws, caught, touchdown. Academic, as it turns out, Chris Carter. And George goes down. George gets whacked by Chidi Ahanatu as he delivers. And Jeff George shaken. So Dennis Green with very mixed emotions at the moment, watching his team take the lead, but his quarterback in agony.
A terrific play by Jeff George. He feels the pressure coming from his front side. He's not looking at it. He knows it's coming. Now watch how he moves away. Ford misses the block. He throws it and gets hit in the back. I would say that he probably got the wind knocked out of him the way it looks.
Randall Cunningham, of course, is the backup quarterback who started the season as the regular quarterback. The Vikings now 3 years in a row have had different quarterbacks, all of them very good. Brad Johnson was the guy 2 years ago. They signed him to a long-term deal. He was hurt. Cunningham had such a spectacular year, they had to re-sign Randall. And Johnson went to Washington. Now they bring George in, and Jeff is able to walk off under his own power.
I think he's doing all right. I think he just got the wind knocked out of him. He took a vicious shot from behind, and Ahanatu fell on him. But you know, when you throw the touchdown pass, it doesn't quite hurt quite as much, you know? Leroy, you got to keep your head up and make the block, son. The franchise getting knocked down there.
Anderson for the point after, and that is good. So turnovers, the story of the first half. There have been 6 turnovers in the game. Tampa Bay created the first 3, and now Minnesota with the last 3.
This is just Jeff George and Chris Carter, one-on-one versus Brian Kelly, and it's just throw the ball where he can get himself in between the ball and the defender, and they work that play every week in practice. And when you have an arm like that and a player like that, Chris Carter, that's money down in the red zone.
Coming up at halftime, Chris Berman with the top 10, and then we'll be back here to review the first half, which includes that touchdown pass thrown to Carter, who now, along with Marvin Harrison of the Indianapolis Colts, with 12 co-leaders in touchdown receptions. Our understanding from replay now is that the only camera angle they were concerned with was the camera on the goal line. That to them was the definitive call, and they didn't want to see any other angle. And again, it was a case of Trippett would have had to overrule the call on the field to make it a touchdown.
Well, then why do we have the information up here that shows otherwise?
Well, I'm not sure from the goal line camera, I could see where, again, it was gray enough at the 11-yard line. Riddell Anthony is run out of bounds by Griffith at the 27-yard line and then helped up by his pal.
Well, let's go back to that. I mean, we have indisputable visual evidence that it was a touchdown. I mean, it doesn't matter anyway because they went on and scored, but the fact is it was a touchdown, was it not?
It looked that way from a couple of angles that we saw that apparently they weren't concerned with. All they wanted to see was whether he had gotten across the goal line from the goal line angle, figuring that at that point they could tell where his forward progress was stopped. And again, you might have had a whistle at a particular point
In the meantime, Tampa Bay will just button it up and end it on a kneel down. That's a pretty good half. 6 turnovers, 3 replay reviews, a touchdown run back for an interception, a raucous crowd, a tie for first place at stake in the NFC Central. One team trying to extend its winning streak to 6, the other to 5. And that's the end of a very exciting first half at Raymond James Stadium. Minnesota 14, Tampa Bay 10. And we'll be back with our Lexus halftime show after this message from the National Football League and a word from our ABC station.
Yards of total offense, not a lot, but remember last week they had 156 yards of total offense and actually won the game comfortably, but they're playing against an offense that is high flying, it is volatile, and it can move the football. Those 3 turnovers certainly hurt Tampa Bay. The way they like to play football, defense, no turnovers, keep us in the game, let's win it 17-10. They're going to have to do a little bit more on offense if they're going to want to beat this team tonight.
Remember what they did on opening day against the Giants, where they have 4 first downs and won the game. You know?
We take a look at Jeff George's 15-22, 145 yards, 2 interceptions, and a TD. Kings only 5 for 8, 39 yards.
Tampa gets the ball as Carl Williams, who fumbled on the punt return at the end of the first half, runs this back from the 11 out to the 27-yard line. Leslie, what do you have from the coaches?
Al, from both of them, first of all, Jeff George only had the wind knocked out of him. He's fine. Denny Green said that they want to make Sean King hold the ball a little bit longer, but ultimately make him throw it. Denny Green said if Tampa Bay throws more than 20 times a game, he believes Minnesota will win. As for Tony Dungy, he said he's not disappointed in Sean King. He said King simply hasn't had enough plays tonight, and he's not worried about coming from behind with a rookie quarterback. He says if it's close in the 4th quarter, this King will rule. Al?
We'll see. King 5 out of 8 through the first half through the air as Mike Allstott starts with a 1-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Well, you know, I said they were conservative, and you could see right there, starting out the second half, just running the football. You see he's only 5 for 8. He's only had 8 opportunities. Now, he made the one bad read where he tried to force the ball down the sideline to Jacquez Green, but all in all, like Tony Dungy says, he hasn't had the opportunities.
Well,
but you have to make your own, Al. You have to convert 3rd downs. You got to keep the ball moving, keep the chains moving. So it all kind of works hand in hand.
Tampa only ran 19 plays in the first half to 40 for the Vikings. 2nd down and 9. And King throws, and that is incomplete over the middle. And a flag comes in, intended for Bert Emanuel, and Trent Dilfer says, yeah, defensive interference.
Jimmy Hitchcock was holding on to Bert Emanuel, and you could see Hitchcock is absolutely livid. Now, this is a guy last year that was getting interceptions and making touchdowns, and he's still looking for his first interception of the year. And sometimes you wonder what officials are looking at. This was close. Very, very close.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 37. Automatic. 1st down.
This is not reviewable, by the way.
No, it's not. He's right at the top of your screen. Watch this. Here they come. Manuel just wants to take an inside release, and I think right there with his left hand, he grabs Emmanuel's left arm. So actually, it was a good call by the official.
Coach Fazio, the defensive coordinator, former head coach of the University of Pittsburgh. 18-yard penalty. King. Good initial protection, but the secondary did its job, and then finally Chris Dolman gets the sack, and that's nothing new. He's among the all-time leaders in that department. That's his 2nd sack of the game. And Chris Dolman now has 147.5 career sacks.
Well, this is the Tampa Bay Buccaneer conservative offense at its finest, or at its worst, whatever way you want to look at it. They're leaving literally 9 guys or 8 guys in the block and sending out 2 receivers. He doesn't have much of an opportunity to pick and choose different receivers, no matter how many times he looks across the field.
Jacquez Green in motion, 2nd down and 13, back to the ground. Allstott to the 45. Again, if you don't follow the Bucs that closely, they like to use Allstott, the Moose, and then Warwick Dunn, the dancer, but Dunn is hurt tonight. Warwick's had 2 good years here in Tampa Bay, but he's been in and out of the lineup with injuries, and
tonight. He's not even there. He is.
There is work right there. And without him in, he's their leading receiver. That takes a weapon away from Sean King. And again, I go back to it. You have to get your players out. You got to let them read the coverages. If you're just going to send 2 guys out and try to protect them from reading defenses, you're going to have sacks and you're going to have problems in the backfield.
3rd down and 10. Tampa trying to convert its first 3rd down of the game, and it is not caught. It is dropped. It's incomplete. Bert Emanuel dropping it at the 50-yard line.
Tough catch. We see Chris Carter, Jerry Rice, Jimmy Smith, all the receivers across the NFL making these types of catches. And when you're struggling for yards, when you have an opportunity to make a play, you have to make it. And the ball is perfectly thrown. He's got to make that catch if you're going to be a big-time receiver. Let me out of here. You get one opportunity, you better make it.
Mark Royals punting. Yo Murphy back to receive at the 11.
Number 19, Yo Murphy.
Murphy's going to run it back from the 4. Only to the 11. Normally, you won't make that play inside the 10, but he had a lot of room to roam, but no blocking. Coverage turns out to be pretty good. 12:25 left in the 3rd. Vikes by 4. Who are the best ever to play on Monday night? Well, you can go to Monday Night Football online, cast your vote at ESPN.com or NFL.com. The all-time team will be announced Super Bowl Sunday here on ABC. Minnesota starts from the 11-yard line. Their first possession of the second half. They're up by 4, 14-10, and Jeff George begins by giving the ball to Robert Smith. A nice 9-yard gain, taking it out to the 20-yard line. Tackled there by John Lynch. Dolman, Randall, Gary Anderson, all on that all-time Monday night team ballot. Dennis Green, well, he coached a few Monday night games. Dennis with the longest tenure with one team of any coach in the National Football League right now. Got his job a few days before Bill Cowher took over with the Steelers in '92. On 2nd and 2, they give it to Smith again, and Robert bangs his way close to a first down up to the 22, popped by Derek Brooks.
When you have the big offensive line like the Minnesota Vikings do, Al, and they're leaning on you, they're pushing you, and when you look at the defensive line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're a little bit undersized. They're quick, they're fast guys, but after a while, an offense can take its toll on a defense, and I think that's what we're seeing here. They're just kind of methodically leaning on him, pushing him, and pushing him around.
From the 22. George flings one toward Carter and out of bounds. Covered on the play by Ron D. Barber. Chris Carter, there's kind of a movement that I guess started in Minneapolis and the newspapers here to consider Chris for the league's MVP. That's an award never won by a wide receiver. Normally it goes to a quarterback. Mark Mosley actually won it once as a kicker. Boomer, you won it in '88.
Yeah, when they see him in Minnesota and they see him every game, they know how vitally important he is to not only the actual statistics for this football team, but the heart and soul of this football team. He is the emotional leader on the field.
2nd down and 10 from the 22-yard line. Carter juggles, and that's sure enough, you start talking about a guy as an MVP guy and a Hall of Fame guy. Hello? 3rd and 10.
Well, we watched them on Monday night against Dallas a few weeks ago, Al, and they were struggling offensively in that first half, if you remember. And at the end of that first half, they threw a few balls to him like this that he caught, and he made an extra effort type of play. He didn't run out of bounds. He took on Deion Sanders a few times. Those are the emotions that superstars bring to their football teams, especially in time of need, like the Vikings were that night.
3rd down and 10 from the 21-yard line. 4-man rush, and a lot of heat on George, and down he goes. Brad Culpepper. On 3rd down and 10, one of the few teams in the league so confident, just the 4th down guys, just send them, run a little stunt up front, and it's Culpepper with a sack.
And when you talk about their defensive line, you talk about quickness, you talk about movement, you talk about stunting. Take a look at this. Watch the 2 guys in the middle. There goes Culpepper inside, around comes Sapp to the outside. Sapp comes free, forces him to Culpepper. You know, and that's why this defense presents so many problems. I asked Mike Tice, their offensive line coach of the Vikings. He said, boy, these guys, They come fast, quick, and they're coming from all over the place.
Culpepper's second sack. Here's Mitch Berger's floating kick. Fair catch called for, made by Williams at the 43-yard line. 10:26 left in the third. In Tampa, Minnesota 14, Tampa Bay 10. And Florida State, Virginia Tech, and the big one, the Sugar Bowl for the national title. On first down, the pass intended for Emmanuel. Incomplete. Second down. Speaking of Florida State, what do you have, Leslie? Which Seminole?
A guy hoping for another national championship. Al Michaels was mentioning you're a Florida State guy. Work done, played with injuries all year, but Work, why couldn't you play with this one?
Well, last week I sustained an injury in the first half of the Seattle game, and I tried to fight through it, played in the second half, and this week it's just been a little tough to run, and when I came out for the game, I really couldn't push off, so I'm just trying to save myself from further injuries.
Well, this offense can't wait to get you back. Thanks, Work. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, Leslie. And this is Mike Allstott, who gets tripped up by Robert Griffith.
Nothing against Leslie, but I was saying to these guys on the sideline in their pajamas, the guys that don't play, that when Leslie Visser's looking to give you an interview, that's not good. That means you're not playing.
Right. That's a good point.
And you can hear the boos coming down. It's amazing how patient these fans are here, but I guess they've been watching this offense for so long. They're 0-5 on third down up to this point. They have to start making a play here sooner or later.
Third down and 8. Under 10 minutes left in the third. King out of the gun. Throws, and there's your first conversion to Jacquez Green to the 45-yard line of Minnesota.
All right, they're giving him a standing O, Al, finally, and you can see that Sean King is an accurate passer, and he hits Green right on the money, one of those little slant patterns. But now this is an opportunity where they're on this part of the field where they should use some of the speed. And right there, Jacques going against Jimmy Hitchcock, number 37. It's a nice move by the young receiver and a nice throw by the young quarterback.
First down at the 45-yard line. Toss to Allstott. He's going to reach down for it, but turns the corner and picks up about 7.
The interesting thing about Mike Allstott is how quick he gets around the corner. At 6'1", 255, he's built more like a fullback. Moose Johnson from the Dallas Cowboys come to mind, but they line him up in the halfback position, pitch him the ball, and to watch him make a tight turn with such... And watch him get around number 56, Chris Dolman. But watch his turn. Now, he should have the ball in the other hand, so if he does fumble it, it goes out of bounds. Nifty move by a 6'1", 255-pound running back.
Second down, long 2. Abdullah's in the game, and they give the ball to Allstott, and he picks up the first down, moving through the middle to the 34-yard line.
Versatility. Now they line him up at fullback and give him a little fullback play right up the middle.
The Bucs playing their 6th home game of the season, and in the 5.5 games to this point, they've scored 4 offensive touchdowns. King tonight, 28.2 rating, doesn't win a lot of games, but he's down by 4, and he's on the move here.
And he's got a great defense on his side.
First down from the 35, flag is thrown. And Allstott makes the catch. Dwayne Rudd may have been offside, or Jerry Ball, I think, was the guy offside. Rudd in on the play.
I think it was big old Jerry Ball. I was watching Jerry Ball before the game. He was actually running pass routes.
Defense, number 96. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
When you watch a big man like this on the sideline running with those light feet, he's putting the ball. He wants to be a wide receiver in the worst way, but his body's not going to let him.
Not in this life, it's not.
He might be a reincarnation of the fridge, however, as a fullback on the goal line, maybe, right?
Well,
remember the days the Chicago Bears used to use William Perry as the fullback?
He's got to be that Randall McDaniel, though. You'd like to use the guard McDaniel in their backfield in goal line situations. First and 5 from the 30-yard line.
You got him. There you go.
And King going deep into the end zone. It is caught by Green. What a catch. Touchdown.
All right, Al, we've been calling for it all night, and it finally shows itself. They get the right defense one-on-one. And Tony Dungy was telling us, when you go against rookie defensive backs and you have speed like Green, Just let it up there, and they'll go get it, and that's exactly what Sean King did.
Perfect pass. Great catch as he's going out of the back of the end zone over the owner. Happy about this as his team retakes the lead.
You can actually see that Rodgers gets there right there at the point. It looked like it would have been interference anyway.
Right, and he's pretty close to also making the catch before or having it overruled, but it's too late now because the extra point is good. Now you talk about a play that might have been reviewed had they been a little quicker, and we'll see the replays again when we come back. This is pretty close, but it doesn't matter right now. 17-14. Possession and inbound. Oh, replay in a moment after the kickoff here as Martin Gramatica kicks off for Tampa. They lead 17-14. Kickoff taken by Yo Murphy from the 9, and the guy who was in Tampa's camp until early last week to the 34. Okay, take a look now. Key questions. Is he in bounds? Is he in the end zone? And does he have possession is the key question here, too. All right, one knee is down, which is the equal of 2 feet. The question, Boomer, does he have possession of the ball?
Well, it really doesn't matter. The good, and here's the interference as well, but what's even more,
which isn't called.
Right, which isn't called, but even more importantly, give Joe Marciano, the special teams coach of the Bucs, credit because he got the extra point team on the field quickly and did not give them time to review it.
Remember, you have to make the challenge before the next play. Ball at the 33-yard line as Jeff George begins this drive. Nice slide move to the left, going deep, and it's almost intercepted as Carter becomes a defensive back. And what are they going to say? That he intercepted it and fumbled it? It was Ronde Barber. Now the question becomes, did he intercept it and then fumble it? There's no call yet on the field.
Al, the interesting thing, number 77, Terry McCauley, the side judge, is down there looking for the football, trying to see whether or not it had hit the ground.
Right, there's no call yet. There wasn't a call for an incomplete pass. There wasn't a call for a fumble. So now you may have a case of a review coming up, possibly. But remember, if the call goes against Tampa here, they're out of challenges. They can't challenge it.
Take a look at Ronde Barber. It goes right down to his feet. That hits the ground.
It hits the ground. That should be incomplete. They haven't made the call yet. And then who's going to wind up with a football? Well, Carter's reaching for it at the end of the play.
The ruling on the field is an interception by Tampa Bay.
Well, it's an interception by Tampa. Now Dennis Green has to challenge this call. If it goes against Tampa, they're out of challenges. Now Minnesota can challenge this, and I'll be shocked if they don't.
There it is right there.
It hits the ground.
Easily, yeah. And
clearly,
that's
so
no question.
The next thing will be a buzz of triplet. Tampa's going to get out there and try to run the play. And there's a whistle. Triplet's been buzzed. He will then go to the hood again. This is clearly a case of overturning the call.
Boy. We've had it all tonight, haven't we, Al? There's a definitive look. Watch the nose of the ball hit the ground.
Minnesota has challenged the ruling on the field that it is an interception.
Well, it's not an interception. Minnesota will win this challenge.
They should win it, yes.
Yeah, I mean, well, if that's not indisputable visual evidence,
no, the interesting,
then I'm going to the optometrist tomorrow, and the ophthalmologist.
Now, one of the things, though, however, that I saw on that throw, much like I saw on an earlier interception that Jeff George threw, it looks like the ball was slipping out of his hand, and he's throwing some ducks up there that are hanging. And Chris Carter actually had Barber beat significantly.
Right, Carter turning into the defensive back on that play to try to break up the play. What Triplett's asking for now is what the guys on the field saw. So again, he can go over and he has to overturn what they said they saw.
Oh, he's having a great time tonight, isn't he? Getting a lot of FaceTime. He might get a few endorsements from this.
He just gave the sign to the paparazzi to let him get in there.
You know what I do like about this officiating crew, though, is that the three of those guys discussed it on the sideline.
Right.
They wanted to make sure that they thought that they had the right call.
Right.
And Triplett was away from them. He allowed them to discuss it, did not get in the middle of it.
Okay.
You can see right there it hits the ground.
They clearly never had possession. I mean,
right.
If your feet, if he could control the ball with his feet before the ball hits the ground, then he would have had possession.
No, but what a play by Rondé Barber, though. I mean, what a
Yeah.
tremendous effort to try to get...
Oh, no question about it. But it won't mean a thing because Minnesota's going to get the ball back. And it will be 2nd down and 10 from their own 33. After the challenge is...
Poor Tony Dungy can't catch a break, can he?
No, and the amazing thing is, keep in mind that Dungy, had the call gone against him, was out of challenges. Because he's already used his 2 and lost them both. He gets 2 challenges per game.
After reviewing the play, the pass is incomplete as the ball hit the ground. It's 2nd down, Minnesota. At the previous spot, Minnesota is not charged a timeout.
So we're 3 for 4 tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the 3 other calls were all gray area calls that were not overturned. The touchdown was a little less. The challenges remaining, Minnesota has 1, Tampa Bay out of them. And remember, when you get to the last 2 minutes of the 4th quarter, then it's in the hands of the booth upstairs. But they got it right. It's 2nd down and 10, Minnesota from the 33-yard line. Caught by Carter. Great slip move, 2 of them, and then Lynch runs him out of bounds after an 8-yard pick. Donnie Abraham couldn't make the tackle. He was able to slip by on the outside.
He made Derek Brooks and Donnie Abraham both miss tackles, uncharacteristic for the Tampa Bay defense. Jeff George noticing that the Tampa Bay defense was out of sorts. They didn't look like they had the right coverage, and there's a lot of discussion going on. He snapped the ball quickly and threw it to the uncovered Chris Carter.
Chris Carter with that catch now over 1,000 yards. Again, that's 7 straight years in 4 figures for that man. 3rd down and 1 up at the 42-yard line. And George is going to put it up on 3rd and 1 and convert. Jake Reed run out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Into the Tampa bench he goes. Rondé Barber.
You could sense that Ray Sherman feels that his offense is in good sync when they're dropping back on 3rd and 1 like this and running plays here. As a play caller, he could be real aggressive, and that's what he's done the last few series out. I'm sure that Mike Tice, the offensive line coach, said, hey, we can handle these guys. We're doing a good job blocking them. Let's keep it moving.
Ray Sherman looking a lot better in Minnesota these days and in Pittsburgh.
Well, you got to wonder how Kevin Gilbride's feeling right now, the new offensive coordinator for Pittsburgh.
Remember, Ray got all that heat last year as the offensive coordinator taking over Chan Gailey in Pittsburgh. 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. And that is caught at the 43-yard line by Carter.
Now, I will tell you, though, when you look at offensive coordinators, head coaches around the league, you know what makes a great coach is great players. And right now you're looking at an offensive system here with Jeff George, Chris Carter, Jake Reed, Randy Moss, Robert Smith. I mean, you should be doing well, and you should be able to call plays. And they don't have this type of talent in Pittsburgh on offense, not even close.
I don't think anybody has this kind of offensive talent. Well, maybe Indianapolis is on its way. St. Louis. 2nd down and 2.
The Raiders
at the 43-yard line. George sidearms that he was under pressure, intended for Matthew Hatchett, and that's incomplete.
And I think congratulations should be sent out to our good old buddy Dick Vermeil in St. Louis. How great was that? He was crying again.
Oh, yeah, I love when Dick. Well, that's good.
It is good. It's great.
Dick's he's a wonderful man, and to Georgia Fronteri and to John Shaw and that entire organization.
Right, I heard Chris Berman say last night that he was out of touch when he was 62, but now he's a genius at 63.
That's right.
So congratulations to the Rams and Coach Vermeil.
Burned out at 47. Kind of like us, Boomer. Making comebacks. 3rd down and 2, and Jeff George has to take a timeout. Timeout preparatory to a 3rd and 2. in a game with a lot of storylines in Tampa. Back and forth, ebb and flow. 17-14.
Hey, all right.
Tampa. 24 of the world's top golfers pair off into all-star teams to compete in match play. Freddie Couples, Mark Calcavecchia, Julie Inkster, Jack Nicklaus, Tom Watson among those competing in the Diners Club matches Saturday, live at 4 Eastern and 1 Pacific, right here on ABC. Third down and 2.
Get rid of it.
George under pressure, hit as he throws, busted up by Chidi Ahanaku.
They just keep coming and coming and coming. I mean, they are relentless on the front line. And when you're only rushing 4 guys and you can get back there that quickly, decisions have to be made quickly. It puts so much pressure on you, Al. I mean, they're in your face. They're back there. A lot of credit goes out to this defense for hanging in there and playing. And you can see they're only rushing 4 guys. And here comes Ahanaku around. Corey Stringer, and Mike Tice told us Corey Stringer was playing good, but I would venture to say that Jeff George would probably have to throw that ball a little quicker than he did.
Carl Williams back to receive the kick from Mitch Berger. Berger goes down but doesn't draw a flag. The kick is very short and hauled in at the 26-yard line by Carl Williams.
Did he not call a fair catch? Did he bobble that ball?
Looked like it, but keeps possession. In Tampa, Al Michaels with Boomer Esiason and Leslie Visser. Randy Moss has been pretty quiet tonight. Randy with 1 catch, 16 yards.
Al, I asked you, did he not make a fair catch, and why was he hit? You can see right there, Carl Williams drops the ball again. That's the 2nd time tonight.
Right. The other fumble was very close to the 26-yard line. Allstott. Coleman slows him down, and he picks up 1. 2nd and 9. Leslie, what you got?
Al, this is a very proud moment for the King family. I'm joined by Sean's parents, Carolyn and Sam. Carolyn, you raised Sean in this area. What is the emotion of seeing your son in this uniform?
Well, you know, to look out on the field and see him having the opportunity to do something that he's wanted to do all his life, it just blesses me. I'm so proud of him and for him. He's worked hard. He's done the things that it takes to get where he is, and he's remained humbled and focused throughout it, and I'm just elated.
We'll just watch this play. Sam, you're a coach. Did he always have this kind of poise?
Sean Poise is a gift from God. And one amazing thing about the night game is that even though he had a fumble and threw an interception, he has maintained that poise and come right back to 3rd quarter and let the team down and throw the touchdown.
Well, it must be a very happy night for you. The only quarterback that Tony Dungy ever drafted. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, Leslie. And he's a very likable kid with an open face and an engaging smile.
I know why you like him, Al.
Why's that?
He called you Mr. Michael.
He did. 3rd down and 6.
You know, I asked him why he said that. He said, saw a tinge of gray in your hair.
Well, he's running for the 1st down. Does he get it? In the meantime, Boomer says to Sean King last night, they're going to measure, who'd you admire when you were growing up? And he mentioned Montana and Elway and Marino, and you too, Boomer. And I see Sean on the field tonight, and he says to me, hey, did Boomer buy into that? I said, we'll find out.
Well, you know you're getting old when a kid comes in and says, yeah, I admired you when you played.
I asked him if he remembered Cosell ever doing Monday Night Football, and he didn't.
He thought he was still doing it. Every now and again you go into your alter ego.
You're exactly right, Boomer. Let's take a look at this measurement right now. And by the length of the football on the 3rd and 6, they convert.
I think, though, that Mrs. King, Sean's mom, said it best. He said that he's humbled and he's focused. And we both felt that way after we left the room with him last night, that he was confident, that he felt good about what he can do and what he can offer for this team. Did not seem overwhelmed.
And he's the 2nd quarterback from Tulane. The other, Ken Karcher, played with Denver. He started 3 games in '87, but there's an asterisk. 3 games during the players' strike. The 3 started by Karcher. From the 36-yard line.
Play fake buys time, but then it's a bad pass. The receiver cuts off the route. Bert Emanuel at the 42. And the pass well over his head. And somebody losing a shoe is Sean King. He hasn't lost a game, hasn't played in the game his team's lost since '97. Last year, perfect year for Tulane. This was King wrapping up his college career in the Liberty Bowl. Throwing a touchdown pass there. And this was part of the reason that he was drafted in the second round. Tulane beat BYU 41-27. He was the 50th guy picked in the draft, the 6th quarterback. Second and 10, and this is Olstad banging his way. No other way to describe it to the 49 in the first down.
Well, these are the ingredients that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need to win this football game. Take the pressure off of Sean King. Make those big runs up the middle. We've seen a few of those tonight from Mike Olstad. I mean, this is right up the heart of the defense. And take a look at this. This is defenders getting run over. See number 30, Antonio Banks, in there for Griffith, just absolutely get demolished at the point of attack. They're not asking Sean to do too much, Al, but they're giving him a lot of help in the running game.
He is. Olstad, 16 carries, 93 yards on a night when Gunn is out of the game and he's more important than ever. And he adds a hard 1 or 2 right there before he is hit by Dwayne Rudd. There is Warwick Dunn, and we can tell you the Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Lexus and our relentless pursuit of perfection. Hewlett-Packard, the original Silicon Valley startup, by Gap, and Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl.
They seem to be having quite a bit of success running to the left. Now, Kevin Doggins is starting at left guard tonight in replace of George Diaz. Now, that's one shakeup that they made in the offensive line, and it seems to be working, especially here in the second half.
Second and 9. Olstad tackled as Banks comes up from the secondary.
Well, that's how you atone for that, Antonio. You get up in there, you stick your face in and make a tackle. And you got ran over the play before, but then seems to come back and make a nice short tackle in the backfield.
And he's playing his Banks right now because Orlando Thomas is on the bench getting his knee rewrapped.
There is Foge Fazio, who I think his hair has gotten a little bit grayer over the last 2 weeks after giving 800 yards of passing up to the Bears and the Chargers. Coaching in this league is ulcer time.
Third down and 10 from the 49-yard line. And that's a low throw, and it is caught. No, not caught. Jacquez Green couldn't keep it off the ground, and it's fourth down.
You know, Tony Dungy likes this kind of stuff. 17-14. Defense is playing pretty good. Punt, play good special teams. Nothing flashy on the offense.
He even likes 6-3. He won a game this year, 6-3 against Chicago. Won the game and benched Dill for the next week.
Well, they've only scored 174 points coming in. But the good news is they've only given up 141 points.
Right.
And we're going to see another great defense next week in the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're actually ranked number 1 in the league this year right now.
Here's Royals' kick, fielded at the 13-yard line. A fumble by Yo Murphy. And a massive pileup at the 14-yard line. Buccaneers ready to celebrate, and so is the crowd, and they should.
And Jeff Gooch makes a great play. Number 50 comes down and just knocks the ball out of Yo Murphy's arms. What are we talking about? Good special teams and good defense.
Yo Murphy, while with Tampa this year, only returned kickoffs, not punts. And this one is recovered by Shelton Quarles. He'll come into the picture. Gooch creates it, and Quarles, 53, winds up with it.
They teach him in defensive school, go after the football. And Yo Murphy's not used to catching punts and running them back. And Gooch took advantage of that and forced the fumble.
First down at the 15-yard line for the Bucs. Olstad on what will be the final play of the third quarter is stopped for a 2-yard loss. So we have played 3 in Florida. Tampa Bay 17, Minnesota 14. Monday Night Football resumes after this from our ABC stations. In the red zone right now, in other words, inside the 20-yard line, left-hand column, Tampa Bay has the worst percentage. It means 22.6% of the time when they get inside the 20, they score. Worst in the league. Minnesota, meanwhile, has the best red zone defense. You've got the worst offense against the best defense inside the 20.
That's a little misleading. Denny Green was telling us that teams score from outside the red zone most of the time against us.
Second down and 12, and this is a manual. In other words, they score on long plays.
Right.
But once the opposition gets inside the 20, they do figure out a way to stiffen, and they'll have to do it right here because they're down by 3.
You know, how bad has the Tampa Bay offense been all year? Only twice have they scored over 20 points in a game. At Green Bay, they lost 23 to 26. And then at New Orleans, they won 31 to 16. So this is a team that's, you know, the games are always close just because that their offense has trouble moving the ball. There's Mike Shula. I think tonight he's even handcuffed even further because of the rookie quarterback, and they don't want him to make mistakes down here. Don't force the football right here in this situation.
Third down and 5, ball with the 10. King throws. What a catch. Did he get the first down is the question. Hold in by Williams right there at the stick.
A la Chris Carter, Al, on the sideline.
And it is a first down.
What I like about this, there are 3 receivers to one side. They're flooding the zones that the Minnesota Vikings are playing. It's a safe pass if Sean makes the decision quickly, which he does. And you can see he throws a nice, tight spiral. You can see right there a nice play by Williams, able to keep his feet in bounds.
And not a bad spot for him either. First catch tonight for Williams, who earlier had that fumble punt that resulted in a Minnesota touchdown. Allstott, the hard yard to the 4, stopped by Griffith, 2nd and goal.
You know, another type of strategy that Tampa employs on their offense is they allow the play clock to run down, Al. They want to shorten the game. They want to keep the other team's offense on the field, especially in this situation. This is your best type of defense right here. So they are in no hurry running plays. They take their time. They spread it out, and they try to shorten the game.
Right now, the time of possession in this game is just about even. Each team's had the ball about 23 minutes.
But you can see they're already under 10 seconds on the play clock and probably run it to about 4 seconds.
Second down and goal. King under pressure throws a duck, and it's incomplete. He was hit as he threw. It'll be third down. Flag is down as well. Chris Dolman came in to put the heat on.
You're going to have holding against the defense in the secondary for the Minnesota Vikings.
And that'll be an automatic 1st and goal.
I think Kylie Wong was actually holding.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 58. Half the distance, automatic first down.
Al, do you see Ed McDaniel? I don't know if it was him. It looked to me like it was Kylie Wong. Let's take a look at this right here. He's right up here in the corner. Take a look and see who that is.
Yep.
Can't tell if it's 58 or 52.
58, that was McDaniel.
It was, okay.
That was McDaniel. 1st and goal, ball at the 2-yard line. Allstott is the tailback. Allstott takes it inside the 1-yard line. Running right at Dolman. McLeod, the fullback, helping to lead the way.
And this is where you get in behind your great center, Tony Mayberry. This is his 139th start. It's tied for 3rd amongst NFL players, Al. And this guy's been a pillar of strength, as they say, in the middle. It all starts in the middle. And right there, he's the guy that makes all the line calls.
And the left tackle, Stu Gruber, who's been here for 12 years. And they go that way. But Allstott can't make the end zone because Robert Griffith comes up. Big play. Big. 3rd and goal. And a huge play here.
Well, Robert Griffith does make a huge play because he's unblocked and he has to make the tackle. His responsibility is to come off the end, not allow the running backs to get outside of containment. Remember, Robert Griffith is a sure tackle. Now, he's 5'11", 198, going against a 6'1", 255-pound running back.
Third down and goal. From the 1. All stop the tailback. The fake to him. King throws. Caught. Moore. Touchdown. The tight end, Dave Moore. The Glazers exult. That's the Pirate ship in Buccaneer Cove. And give Moore a lot of credit on that. King was so excited, he almost threw the ball through Moore.
No, a play-action fake down here on 3rd and 1. This should not fool the defense. Somebody busts in the secondary. Whether it's Rudd, whether it's McDaniel, one of these linebackers need to be back here. I mean, you can't have a bust like that. And when you have a defense that's 31st in the league, 31st in the league, there's a reason for it, and it's because of misplays like that.
Bucs with a touchdown after the Yo Murphy fumble. Extra point by Gramatica is good. The man who would be king, young Sean. And the Bucs lead by 10. After the game, ESPN Sports Center Monday Night Football postgame show has live reports and analysis. Bucs by 10. Gramatica kicks off, pulled in 8-yard line by Yo Murphy. Trying to atone for that last fumble, which was hugely costly, and gets taken down up at the 27-yard line. Hit by Shelton Quarles. Here comes George, and the Vikes down by 10, 11:34 left.
Happy holidays from your friends at Miller.
Doctor, $6,000 for a simple hernia operation.
In Tampa, Frank Middleton showing the effects of the work he's been doing tonight. The Bucs have dominated in the second half. He's a hothead. Jeff George throws, and it is intercepted, but there's a flag down. Intercepted by Donnie Abraham. At least for the moment, that would be his third if it holds up.
Well, they're going to call interference, but the interesting thing there, Al, watching this is watching Randy Moss just walk away like he knew the...
Illegal contact. Defense, number 21. 5 yards in the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Hello, Randy, don't assume anything out here. And he was assuming that there was a penalty on him. Maybe he knew better than we did, but as the play was going on, he was just kind of like walking away from it.
Well, Randy likes to be cooler than thou, you know.
Well, I don't care how cool he is.
I mean,
you got to wake up and take a look at Randy Moss right here at the bottom of your screen. Just watch. Now, the play is still going on.
Right.
And there's Randy Moss walking around like he's in a park somewhere. He's probably looking for Yo Murphy. What's up?
Yo, baby. Whistle before the snap.
Prior to snap. False start. Offense. Left guard. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Left guard is normally Randall McDaniel. First and 15, ball back at the 27.
You can tell how Jeff Triplett's really into the game. He's starting to call positions now.
Yeah. He's been very busy tonight. Throw, Robert Smith. And it's still far too early to abandon a ground game with 11:15 to go, so they give it to Robert. He takes it to the 34. And it will be second down and 8.
How that's interesting that you bring up that point, because you remember talking to Denny Green last night. He said Tampa's going to want us to abandon the ground game, and we're not going to do that. We're going to stay with it. It's a big part of our game, and now that we have Robert Smith back, we're going to stay with it when we have to. And right second. Got to keep your eyes on Randy Moss and Chris Carter, and they bring Drake Reed in. They spread everybody out like they're going to do right here. There's always a chance for that big home run strike.
Moss, one catch tonight for 16 yards.
They have him one-on-one now.
Top of the screen. And he comes in to block because Smith goes to the outside. Takes it to the 45-yard line. The last time these teams played earlier this season, Randy Moss in the first game of the year, October 3rd. 21-14 was the final score of Minnesota. And a little bit of Moss's day encapsulated right there, a 61-yard touchdown reception as he beat Barber, and then he makes this catch over the middle, takes that into the end zone. Minnesota led 21-0 and held on to win 21-14.
Those are the types of matchups that you're looking for, and they won't get it here. They'll have two safeties deep, so I doubt they'll have one-on-one on the outside. You got to work the inside.
Second and 9, they throw it underneath the Ford, and Leroy gets hit at the 49-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Brian Kelly the first to hit him, and Brooks the second man.
Now what Tampa is doing in obvious passing situations, they're dropping their safeties deep. They're playing over top of their outside receivers, forcing Jeff George to throw it in the middle. Now, if they can catch him one-on-one with one safety in the middle, that's when they become really dangerous. But I can't imagine Tampa abandoning their type of defensive coverages.
Now Moss comes wide right. They put Carter in the slot to the right.
Two deep safeties again.
Again, a very low snap, time after time, and George throws, and he's got Carter over the middle. Got free, makes the catch, 33-yard line, first down, tackled by Robinson.
Now, when you have those two deep safeties and you can't get outside, you have to work the middle of the field. It puts an awful lot of pressure on your nickel coverage guys to come in and play a guy like Chris Carter. Now, take a look at this snap. It's about the 3rd time tonight that this has happened. But Jeff George has enough presence and poise and a strong enough arm. It's not a pretty throw, but he knows where he's going because he knows exactly what the defense is doing and what their responsibilities are.
Carter a half dozen catches tonight for 42 yards. Back to the eye. Smith the tailback from the 31-yard line. Robert gets the ball, and Brooks is right there to knock him down after a gain of a couple. He gets inside the 30-yard line.
It's so much fun to watch as Monty Kiffin and Ray Sherman are trying to figure out what each other is doing. There's Monty Kiffin. He's the defensive coordinator for the Buccaneers, and there's Ray Sherman. And they work in concert with their coaches on the sidelines and up in the boxes saying, hey, look, we've gotten a lot of two deep coverage, so run the ball. If we start getting one single man in the middle, then go down the sideline. Here you go now, one guy. Now they're blitzing.
Second down and 7, 5-man front for Tampa, showing blitz. Here they come. Good protection. Moss gets open at the 12, and Moss gets taken down by Barber at the 12. Another first down for the Vikings. Second catch of the night for Randy Moss.
And it's not that hard to predict from up here. You could see it. When they have one safety in the middle, that's when the wide receivers outside get involved. If there's two safeties, then it will be a running back, a tight end, or Chris Carter in the middle of the field.
Moss is over 1,000 yards for the year tonight. Carter did it earlier. First down at the 12-yard line. Again, a low snap. George throws, and Carter goes down in the end zone, looks for a flag, but doesn't get one. Covered by Rondy Barber. Close shave, but no flag.
Okay, getcha.
Okay.
Now, I know you were working on that one.
Not at all. Second down and 10.
Even the great ones slip every now and again, but like a true great one, always complaining. Watch Chris Carter. Here he comes inside. Now he just trips. And now he's complaining.
Second and 10. Smith, and he can't get out of the backfield because it's Brad Culpepper having a big game tonight. 2 sacks and a big tackle for loss here, setting up 3rd and long.
Al, we talked earlier about how this defensive line likes to slant, likes to stunt. If the defensive line is slanting to the way you're running the football, this is exactly what happens because the offensive line creates seams. And Culpepper comes right in behind Jeff Christie, the center. And number 64, Randall McDaniel, cannot make the play, cannot reach to get him because Culpepper's too fast.
3rd down and 14. Vikings are 8 of 12 on 3rd down tonight. George surveys, throws, and through the fingertips of Chris Carter. It would have been a 1st down at the 1-yard line, and he couldn't hold on. All right, not the end of the world for the Vikings. They still need a field goal and a touchdown. They'll settle for the 3 here if they can get it.
You can see Derek Brooks right there, number 55. He's the guy that's the missile that's coming at Chris Carter. You take a look at this, Al. You want to catch the ball in the middle and know that 55 is coming at you? I don't think so. He's trying to protect himself and make the catch at the same time.
Gary Anderson, one of the best of all time, but having a very erratic year. This is a 35-yarder. He missed one from 46 in the 1st quarter. Big field goal here, and he gets it. With 5:50 remaining in regulation, the Vikes get to within 7. It's Tampa Bay 24, Minnesota 17. Mitch Berger to kick off. Chris Carter and Jeff George.
Well, they knew what they were going against, and they knew that Derek Brooks was in there. It was a good throw, and usually a routine catch made by Chris Carter.
Fielded at the 15-yard line by Riddell Anthony. And Anthony breaks a good one, still on his feet at the 40-yard line. And then angled out of bounds at the 43. Big run back for Riddell Anthony. John Henry Mills making the tackle.
Take a look at this last repay out. We always talk about, but look at the camera work by our crew, huh? What a shot.
McKay was also coaching at SC when they lost 51-0 to Notre Dame in the locker room. He said, okay, some of you need a shower. Those of you who do, take one.
These days you hear a lot about e-commerce. And usually it's about companies with names that end in .com. Actually, e-commerce is for any company that wants a better way to do business. Like respond faster to the market, or work better with partners and customers. At Microsoft, we've helped thousands of companies build on their existing systems to create the kinds of e-commerce solutions that can make any business run smarter.
He runs. He shoots. He scores.
Gotta stick to what we each do best.
Will Smith's Kevin Kline, Wild Wild West. Buy it on video, cassette, and DVD. Capture every day in brilliant color. Get the picture with Fujifilm.
What if you had to give up one phone call a day?
Not only is it red, but it's bright, red.
Just
Okay.
one.
Yes. And then she wears these earth tones. Well, I leave the earth. What are you going to wear?
Could you do it?
I thought wear red.
Before you answer, you should know that one of the most effective deterrents to kids using drugs is parents and the time they spend with their kids.
I'm John Randall of the Minnesota Vikings. We're solving today's problems through the United Way. The NFL, the United Way, and you, the power of teamwork.
Well, the Vikings have it at the 30-yard line. A reminder that tomorrow on ABC, Sports Night returns. All new episodes tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, right here on ABC.
All right, Al, here's where you make your money. You have one of the best offenses against one of the best defenses, Jeff George, Warren Sapp. All the players out here. Let's find out who can win this game.
First down at the 30-yard line. George throws underneath, checks off, hits Robert Smith, and he picks up a first down at the 48-yard line. Clock keeps rolling. Vikes have 2 timeouts left. John Lynch
made the tackle.
Now Tampa's going to allow Minnesota to run these balls underneath like this. They'll give Jeff George some of this. You can see Culpepper trying to stay with Smith. What that shows you is that they were trying to zone blitz and confuse Jeff George. But you got to get back there. You got to make them uncomfortable, and that's something that they haven't done with regularity tonight.
First down at the 47-yard line. 2:45. They run a draw up, and it's Robert Smith. Good call, as it turns out, a very good call. 8-yard gain to the 45-yard line, tackled by Culpepper. 2nd and 2, Rich McKay, son of John McKay, the general manager here at Tampa Bay, and it's nervous time for him as well. He's really done a terrific job with his team.
Well, they know right here, this is Tampa's season right here, Al. They have to win this game. They want to stay in contention for the NFC Central title, and it's all falling on the defense's shoulders. And I don't think Tony Dungy would want it any other way.
2nd and a deuce at the 45-yard line. Moss sets up slot right. And George throws, and it is out of bounds. It is taken out of bounds by Donnie Abraham. Almost had his 3rd pick of the night.
Interesting alignment. Usually Chris Carter's on the inside. This time they reverse it because they know that the defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing with 2 safeties, and the middle of the field is wide open. They run Moss down the field as a decoy, and they try to stick it into Carter on the sideline.
Huge 3rd and 2 coming up when we come back at the 2-minute warning.
Today, there's a growing concern over our children's future and the need for guidance. Here in Tampa, the United Way and Derek Brooks of the Buccaneers are making a connection possible through a program called Foster Grandparents, where senior citizens volunteer their time to be with young people. These relationships can help shape our children's future and achieve a greater understanding within our community. The NFL, the United Way, and you.
Foul team.
Tomorrow on ABC, the return of the comedy, Oh, Grow Up. It's right after an all-new Spin City. It comes your way at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, right here on ABC. Well, Sean King has done a little bit of growing up tonight.
He has. He's made the plays when he needed to make them, and he's thrown some nice balls.
ABC's Monday Night Football being brought to you by the all-new Chevy Monte Carlo. The side you show the world is up to you. Microsoft offering e-commerce solutions for any business. Miller Lite, taste of true Pilsner. And AT&T rate 7-cent plan. One rate 7-cent plan. One simple rate all day, every day.
Well, interesting here. Now, I would not play man-to-man coverage on the outside because I would not put it past Jeff George to go down, deep down the sideline. If he sees a matchup that he wants, he's not going to be bashful.
3rd and 2 in a situation where they're in 4-down territory. They go for it, and they give it to Smith, and he's close. But appears to be a little short. Derek Brooks stops him. The yellow line, of course, is unofficial. And I can tell from our vantage point that he does not have a first down. And so you'll have the most critical play of the game upcoming after they measure, assuming they measure.
Take a look at Derek Brooks here. Watch how he comes. He's coming on a blitz, figuring that it's a pass. But he meets up with 73 Todd Stussy, and Stussy does a nice job. So let's give Stussy some credit, okay?
Yes, deserves it right there. By the length of the football, the Vikings are shy. So it amounts to this. They need the first down. If they don't get the first down, Tampa would then get the ball, and Minnesota would have to take 2 immediate timeouts. They have only 2. And Tampa would be able to run the clock, assuming they didn't pick up a first down, they'd be able to run it down to about 50 seconds or so.
Well, the question is now, do they give it to Leroy Hoard to go right up the middle, or they do a quarterback sneak with Jeff George? Or does he go deep down the sideline? And he's audibling now, and he sees it's one-on-one, and he might be doing that.
Fourth and the length of the football, and they're going to throw the football, and it is incomplete. Carter went up in the air. It is incomplete. There are no flags covered by Rondy Barber.
One flag, Al, and they're stopping the play.
Prior to the snap.
They're going to do it over.
Start.
Okay, so this
Number 84, the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains fourth down.
As it turns out, the crowd is so loud, the play went off. And there was no play. Randy Moss with the penalty.
If there was ever such thing as a good penalty, that was it right there.
Yeah. What a call that was, though. Fourth and the length of the football.
Well, they were trying to run the play. Take a look at Randy Moss right at the bottom of your screen right there, moving before they were actually trying to run the same play that they threw the touchdown pass with early. Just trying to get it into Chris Carter, but now they got to put time back on the clock because the clock is running.
1:33.
There we go.
Right.
Thank you.
They took 5 seconds, so those 5 seconds go back. Of course, in a situation like this, it is so loud you can't hear the whistle.
You know, now again, if you're the Tampa defense, you got to be real careful here. Now they're playing bump and run on the outside, but they have their 2 deep safeties. I would think that he might work with Jake Reed down here on the bottom. And here he comes.
And that is caught by Jake Reed, who ran a crossing route and has a first down at the 35-yard line. Reed was to the right, Moss and Carter to the left, Reed over the middle, and Red McComb said, I don't know how much I can take. 14-yard pickup.
All they do is bring Jake Reed across the middle on a little shallow cross route. Now Tampa elects to play zone defense, and if you do that, you have to get back to the quarterback. Jeff George bides a little time and hits Jake Reed. You can see the strength in Jeff George's arm. He's just falling back and flicking it out there and making a nice play.
Reed, 6 catches, tying his season high. Again, another low snap. George is used to that. Fires near side, incomplete. Good defense intended for Reed. Abraham knocks it away. 1:20 left and 2 timeouts for Minnesota.
From up here, it's watching. It's fun. This time, Minnesota keeps 7 guys in. They only throw 3 guys out. Next time, we'll see if Tampa blitzes and they catch them in what they call a scat protection, where they have only 5 or 6 guys blocking. Ray Sherman and Monty Kiffin are earning their pay tonight, Al.
Second down and 10. Bucs up by 7. Great protection, and then Moss drops it. Open over the middle, had position, got inside Abraham, dropped it.
And what is making all of this happen, the opportunities that Jeff George is having, the offensive line of the Minnesota Vikings are doing a wonderful job of blocking at the point of attack and giving Jeff George time to survey the field. Look at that. There's nobody even close to him. Randy, we've seen 2 drops uncharacteristic of the Minnesota Vikings wide receivers. Moss there and Carter earlier.
Perfect pass. Third down, 10 from the 35-yard line. From the gun, whistle before the snap. Randall McDaniel may have moved again.
Prior to the snap. False start. Number 64 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Enhanced TV, a reminder, you can tune in right now, ESPN.com, NFL.com, Enhanced TV. Third down and 15 at the 40-yard line.
There's no reason to force it down the field. You have plenty of time. You can work the middle of the field and get some yards back. The Buccaneers are showing blitz, but they're going to back out of it. Here's the guys underneath.
George throwing. Leroy Horde makes the catch and fights his way for a first down.
Now, when you're playing against zones like that, you can take the underneath coverage, because the longer you hold the ball, the deeper they get, and the harder it is for them to come up and make a tackle. Veterans quarterbacks know that.
Spiking it here, conserving the timeouts. They have 51 seconds left. I tell you, this is developing into a great series. Minnesota dominated for so many years because Tampa Bay was just so awful, but if the Bucs win this game, they will have split the season series in each of the last 7 seasons. There it is, and that would tie an NFL record.
Bears and 49ers split 7 straight series between 59 and 65. Second down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Who moved?
Could be 64 again, either 64 or 73, McDaniel or Stussy.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 64, the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Well, this is big news. I mean, that's a guy who'll be on the steps of camp someday.
He will be. But I was talking about earlier, Al, that when you're in this situation as a quarterback, if the opposing team is playing a zone defense on you and they're not getting pressure, just take the underneath guys, because the longer you hold the ball, the further away they get from everybody, the farther away they get from everybody else.
Second down and 15, and look out, and he gets blitzed and sacked. Rundy Barber disguised it extremely well until the very end. What a call by Monty Kiffin, sending Barber. Red McCombs will look on now as team faced with a third and forever.
Al, he's not even in your screen. Here he comes, number 20. Leroy Horde has got to see him. So does the center. It looked as if Christie, Dixon, and Horde had a screw up in the middle, and somebody didn't pick up their blitzer.
That is his first sack of the season. Remember when we did the Giants this year, the Giants against the Dallas Cowboys from the Meadowlands in October, Tiki Barber won the game, had a tremendous night, and this is his twin brother here, Rondi.
And you could see Horde on the sideline talking to his coach, saying, "Hey, you know, that's not my guy. I picked up Hardy Nickerson in the middle." He's going, "Hey, that's not my guy. I don't have him. I picked up Hardy Nickerson. Somebody else has got to get him." It's one of those he said, she said things. Well, Rondy Barber came up with a big play there, and Monty Kiffin pulling out the blitz at the right time.
So the Minnesota Vikings will have to pick up 25 yards in 2 plays.
Well, if there were an offense in the NFL that you would choose to do that, this would be it.
Third and 25, ball at the 40-yard line.
Stay underneath if you can.
And that is caught. Smith escapes, tries to get out of bounds, can't, stays in bounds, so they're going to have to use a timeout here at the 34-yard line. And Jeff takes it. They wasted a good 6 or 7 seconds. When he didn't get out of bounds, they had to call it immediately.
See, the interesting thing there is they should have been on the sideline saying, "Look, if we get tackled in bounds,
30-second timeout.
Take it right away.
We have to call it right away," and Jeff should know that.
Could have cost them at least 7 seconds. And now they're faced with a 4th down and 19.
I don't mind the underneath throw like this because you want to gain some of the yards back. You don't have to go for it all in one play, but you can see the official makes the correct call. Robert Smith is down. He is not out of bounds. But now you have to go for it all, and you have to go by the. You have to be either by the sidelines or you're going to have to go in the end zone. If you do complete it in bounds, you don't have any left. You don't have any left. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to tell your receivers, look, if you can't make a touchdown and you can't get out of bounds, give yourself up, go down. We have to get up to the line of scrimmage, and we have to spike the ball. We might have enough time for one more play.
Took their last one here, 4th down and 19. The ball at the 34-yard line.
Well, we're going to see 4 Hail Marys.
Well, all 3 receivers, the key guys, are wide right. George throws, and that wouldn't have even picked up the first down, even if he completed it. Donnie Abraham covers on the play. Didn't even throw it far enough to get the first. Brad Culpepper having a huge night, forcing the issue. Morris Unatoa celebrates. So does the crowd at Raymond James Stadium. And Dennis Green is going to watch his winning streak end at 5 as Tampa Bay's winning streak will go to 5.
Interesting play call, Al. They lined up all 3 receivers to Jeff George's right, TV left. Watch Culpepper, 77. He's the grunt. He's the guy who's got to take all the double teams. Well, he's having a heck of a night tonight.
Big night for him. Sean King is going to live a dream. Makes his NFL debut on Monday Night Football. It's a huge game. Leads his team to a 5th straight win. Big turnovers. Barber had a big night. The defense does its job as always. They capitalized on turnovers. The Bucs have now won 5 straight, and Tampa Bay and Detroit are tied atop the NFC Central with records of 8 and 4. And the Vikings now find themselves at 7 and 5 and fighting for a playoff berth. So the Buccaneers, a team written off by a lot of people, including many down here after the ignominious beginning to their season, get it all turned around and exult on a Monday night as they win it by a score of 24-17. In a moment, we'll be back with a play of the game.